Show. I'm joined here today by my co-host, Geek19. Oh God, hold on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, okay.
30 seconds in. This is
All right. Well, at least
you know and love.
at least I know that the audio is working. So I'm Biggs. This is Geek. This is sort of a steel strategy production with a lot of assistance from the general Armada community. I'd like to introduce you to our contestants today. And our contestants today, I'll have you guys introduce yourselves one at a time. We'll start with Mike. Mike, tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm coming to you from East Coast time, so this works out perfectly for me. Appreciate the scheduling in my favor. Not new to tabletop gaming, but relatively new to Armada. Changed cities, changed jobs, and got hooked on the game as soon as I got here, just in time for the Commonwealth of Kentucky to shut everything down. So I appreciate the alternative play space here. Appreciate it.
And next we're going to have Louis-Andre introduce himself.
Hey, hi. So I think, the only Canadian in this tourney. So, and I'm in fact a Quebecer, and I play since a while with this super game. I start with the corset, and I'm a huge fan. So I'm extremely happy to be able to participate in that tourney, and let's see what's gonna happen. Yeah.
All right, and we've also joined by the someone that everyone on the Discord should know, Rasp.
Just introduce yourself real quick.
Sorry, it's been a pretty hectic morning for me. Trying to chase the kids around a little bit. But my name is Rasmussen. I go by Ras Proteus. I'm a little active on the forums, but I think probably it's safe to say pretty active on basketball. So I'm looking forward to some Armada this morning. Yeah.
All right, and our final contestant, a last-minute addition, so we'll try not to hold it against him, is Severus Snape.
Hey, I'm Severus Snape. I also go by my actual name of Cameron. I'm currently in North Dakota for work, originally from Florida, play competitively in the Orlando area. Been playing since the original release of the game. Didn't start playing competitively till last year, though. And Vassal was 2 weeks ago was your tournament, Biggs. That was my first time really with Vassal.
Yep. All right. Well, now that we've introduced all the players to you, we're going to move over and introduce you to our celebrity judges.
Since you don't care about squad.
Hey, everybody, celebrity judges. Let's introduce you guys one by one here. And we'll start with Madigmeyer. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, so I've been playing since the game dropped way back when. I'm not nearly as known in the community, I guess, some of the other people. As far as I took out Evan off for a little while, and I never really got into the competitive scene except for a couple of Vassal tournaments. But you know, I've been playing for a long time. I don't know what else is really relevant about me.
Okay.
Chewy Awards.
I do the
You
so
do
if
the
you like
Chewy
the
Awards.
Chewy Awards.
All right.
That's where you know from.
And our second judge is Alzer. Did I pronounce that right?
I've always pronounced it Alzer, but I made it up in 6th grade, so I'm Alzer or off Ted, a host of the All Fighters Follow Me podcast, as well as been playing since 2000, I think October 2000, right after the Interdictor Wave 4 dropped with the Interdictor.
All right.
Apparently Imperial and a otherwise player, I guess.
Okay, I had a little bit of mic issues with you. Maybe it's on my end. And our final judge, Gilad Palayan.
Congratulations, you're the first person to pronounce it correct. Hey guys, it's Gilad. Some of you may know me as Matthew. I'm one of the 2 U.S. Grand Champions, and amongst the various blogging and podcasting community, I am the village bicycle guest who just kind of wanders through various content providers whenever they need somebody to step up.
Awesome. Well, we're going to go and explain the keys. We're going to go and explain the rules to the contestants and have everyone get set up, and then we're going to get right into it.
Minutes after the last screwage.
Hello, I'm back here with the contestants, and we're going to go over the actual rules. So here's our...
Just did that, but go ahead.
Okay, so for the people listening in, here's the rules of the game. Each player is going to create a list based around an archetype or theme decided at the start of the round. Everyone except our emergency stand-in knows what those are going to be so that they have some idea of what they're going to do. Our emergency stand-in is just going to have to deal. Yeah, then the players will have 30 minutes to construct a ready-to-play list in Vassal. So then the lists will then be judged by our panel of celebrity judges for playability, that's how good the list actually will function on the table, whether or not it can win. Creativity, whether this is the same list we've seen before time and time again, or if there's some little new spin on it. And fun, like, you gotta have fun when you play Armada. It's a game. Come on, people. Don't just build something, yuck. So, the player with the worst list is going to be eliminated each round by our panel of celebrity judges. And then, at the end, the final round, the players, instead of being eliminated by the judges, will play one another with their final list. But it's a trap.
Gasp. It's such
At the start of each round, players will be able to bid against one another with the points available to them in their final round to sabotage their competitors. And the sabotages could be...
What do you mean, Big?
The sabotages could be anything and will affect how the players do their list building. So with that in mind, let's get right on to it. So everyone starts out with 400 points for their final list here.
The first list.
And what are we doing for round 1? It is build a Starhawk. So the rules for round 1, you need to build a Starhawk, a list with a Starhawk, and it needs to include Magnites. Those are the only rules. Hopefully you all have some kind of idea what to build with a Starhawk, but looks like we've got our first sabotage up for bid. And that sabotage is we've got ourselves a commander pack. There are 4 commanders in this commander pack. Each of you will be using one of the commanders. Whoever wins the sabotage gets to decide who uses which commander. The commanders are Krista Agate, Leia Organa, Mon Mothma, and Juan Sato.
It's a solid group of commanders.
We will start the bidding at 1 point. Do I hear 1 point to choose the commanders?
This is from your round 3 total.
This is from your round 3 points.
This is Mike. I'll bid 3.
Mike bids 3. Do I hear 4? 4 points. 4 points to choose commanders.
I would go with 5.
Ooh, Louis Andre with 5. Do I hear 7 points to choose commanders? I got 5 points going once to Louis Andre.
You're choosing everyone's commander. You're not just choosing yours of that 4.
This is Mike. I'll go 6.
Mike goes 6. Can I get a 7? Can I get a 7?
For my blood.
7 going once. 7 going twice. Sold to Mike. Mike, which commander would you like?
Biggs, I got the list of points. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep a gate, I think, for myself.
Okay.
Are you writing these down or you want me to write the...
You can write it down somewhere else. I'm putting it in. And Mike, who would you like to hand Leia Organa to?
I think Ras can take Leia. I think that'll work.
That's a strong pick.
Okay. And who are you handing Mon Mothma off to?
I'll give Mon Mothma to the Quebecer.
Okay.
Leave Sato there for Severus Snape. We'll keep the alliteration going there.
All right.
Oh boy.
Well, that's our first little bit there. Where am I going here? So that was 7 points that you bid. And we're going to head on over to our second, which is, it seems like we only brought 4 flotillas to the fleet builder today. Sorry about that. That's 4 flotillas total. I've got here 2 GR-75 medium transports and 2 GR-75 combat refits. If you win this bid, you get to choose from that list, from that little pod there, how many flotillas you want, and then you can hand the remaining ones out to whoever you want to have them. I feel like 3 points is a good starting bid for this. Who wants flotillas?
Quick question: is this allowing us to go over the max of 2?
No, you still got to have a max of 2.
Okay.
And if you don't get this, you don't get any flotillas.
Well, no, you could. Someone could hand you a flotilla if they're nice.
True.
But anyway, 3 points. There are no additional flotillas. Okay, who was that?
Severus is in for 3.
Severus in for 3. Do I hear 5?
Oh, you did hear 5 for me.
Okay, Louis Andre for 5. Do I hear 7? 7 points for flotillas. Flotillas are very useful, especially with a big ship like the Starhawk. 5 points going once. 5 points going twice. Sold to Louis Andre. Louis, which flotillas would you like?
The non-combat one.
The non-combat ones.
1 or 2?
I will be kind, and I only gonna take 1.
Okay. You only take 1? Hand off the remaining flotillas to people, if you would be so kind.
I want. Could you repeat me who got Sato?
Sato is Severus.
Okay, so Severus, you got the 2 combat.
Okay. Severus, you have to include both of the combat refits in your list.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And then who gets the remaining medium transport?
The Leia build.
All right, so that would be Rasp.
I really appreciate it.
That's very nice of you.
So,
All right. So I'm going to start the timer right now. Everybody, hop into Vassal, create yourself a room, and start building your lists. And we'll
Go ahead.
check in with you in a little bit.
You have a half hour. So 12, 12:33 plus a half hour. 103! That's how time works.
103. We'll be checking in with you from time to time. Geek is our designated checker-inner, so he'll be...
Guy.
Yeah, he's the color commentator. I'm going to be heading over to talk with the judges about what they want to see in a list. Hello again. We're live with the judges.
How we doing?
Oh, we've got our first list being put together for you right now. It's going to be a Starhawk with Magnites. I hope you guys are hungry for that.
We are.
I'm sure we'll find room.
So, what kind of things are you guys looking for in a Starhawk list? Let's start with playability. What do you feel a Starhawk list needs to be actually competitive?
Who wants to go first?
I can lead off. The list needs to make a decision about whether or not it's leaning into salvo at the get-go, because if you build, like, you can't actually build a quadruple salvo Starhawk, and that's just bad. But even if you get up to double, you've invested a lot in getting there. And if you run into a list that's just the CR90s you brought as well and leave, you've wasted your time. Well, I guess this is more of a viability question, I suppose. But, like, that's their challenge, is they're going to have... Do they want the Hawk to get shot at, or do they want the Hawk to do the shooting? If that distinction without much of a difference makes sense.
All right. Madigmeyer, what are you looking for in a competitive sort of Starhawk list?
Well, I want to see how they fill out the rest of the list. Right? The Starhawks do what they do, and I'll be interested in seeing how that goes. But how you support the Starhawk? But just like Gil was saying, like, what reason do I have to come anywhere near this behemoth? You know. So I want to see some other viable threat, and I want to see a reason to engage the Starhawk, ideally, or a way that the Starhawk is going to be getting into the fight and being able to make that all that point investment, that poundage work for it.
All right, and that leaves us with I've already forgotten how to pronounce Ulzer.
So when I look at the Starhawk, I really look at, again, the Starhawk has to be able to be just this absolute juggernaut of a ship, where they're not going to out-tank it and out-slug it. Then it also needs to have something in the list that has threat extent, allows them to go and be able to engage and force their opponent into decisions.
Okay.
That would be all kinds of support ships or squadrons.
I'd agree with Alzer that you need something to help the Starhawk with. It is speed too. Like, there's no way around that. You gotta have the ability to reach out and touch people that are trying.
Oh, Biggs makes them, and we're bidding on him. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
shoot! Sorry. Whoop. I pressed the wrong. Sorry. Repeat your last. I pressed the wrong button and jumped into the wrong chat. Technical problems.
I was just saying that I agree with Alzer that the Starhawk does need some sort of way to reach out and touch people. Otherwise, you've brought a Juggernaut and it's not going to... What's the form of Juggernaut? You brought a tank, and why did you bring a tank? Could have brought something that shot better.
So if you're paying attention, the common theme here is what we all have is why is anyone attacking the Starhawk, and how are you going to force the Starhawk to actually matter and get its points back? I think this is a huge investment.
Yep. All right. Well, let's go check in with Geek and the rest of the contestants.
Have fun.
Do it.
Caster's booth. Hey, Geek. What have we been seeing going on so far?
Well, Cameron, Severus Snape, he's just telling everyone that he's not as much worried about the Sato part as he is about the 2 combat flotillas part. The sabotages seem to have worked. Yeah, it's they're all a little cautious and everyone's trying to figure out what's going on with this. But the pilot of this show, it's they're always rough on the pilots. I feel the next 13 episodes is gonna go great with this. So.
Well, speaking of which, we've got another sabotage that we've got to offer them.
Oh, we have another sabotage.
Yep.
Do we want to tell them now, or do we want to give them another minute or two to stew before?
Well, it's right about the time that we had scheduled for it, so I'm gonna let's hop over and give it to them.
All right, sounds good.
Hello, everybody. I'm back. I hope you're all having a good time designing your lists. I've got some bad news though. We've got another sabotage incoming.
Third sabotage. Wow.
So it turns out that we didn't really bring enough officers for everybody. I know how one of the big things about the Starhawk is that it does have those 2 officer slots, but we really only brought 1 of each officer. So I think it's only fair that 1 person gets the unique officers, 1 person gets the non-unique officers, and well, that's just that only makes sense. So if you win this sabotage, you get to choose between only having unique officers on your Starhawk or only having non-unique officers on your Starhawk, and you also get to choose which other player can use the other one. Everyone else gets none. I think that's worth at least 3 points. Do you agree?
Oh, that sounds great to me.
Who's in for 3 points?
I'm in for 3 points.
Who is that?
Sato, Captain Severus Snape.
Snape. Okay. Do I hear?
My Sato Snape now.
Why not? Do I hear 5? Three points going once. 3 points going twice. All right. Severus Sato Snape gets it. Would you like unique officers or non-unique officers?
Give me the uniques.
All right. And who would you like to give the non-unique officers to?
I'll toss those to Louis Andre. I'll give that to our Canadian friend.
All right.
Delete these then?
Strategic advice is unique, right?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
He has a dot by him. As his motto, friend to all. But only friend to 1 person this time. So.
Shameful.
Only 1 person can enlist Hondo's service today. So.
That's too bad.
Tragic, really. So do we want to do individual pull-ins into the caster's booth and see what people are crafting for us so far, Biggs?
Sure. We'll take a look at that in just a second.
Oh, you want me to run a commercial?
Yeah, if you could pull. Well, I gotta pull. Hold on. Blunk.
I don't know how to pull people.
Yeah, that's okay. I can.
Okay.
I think I can. I think I can. Bonk. I need to move the caster's booth up so that I can pull people more effectively. Hello, Louis Andre. Welcome to the caster's booth. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you are putting together for us here?
Well, for the moment, I'm working on the Mutma fleet, and I'm focusing on, of course, the evade that we need, and I will try to add a lot of activation, but for the moment, I had two MC30. I got a GR75 medium transport, and I put the Battleship Mark One for the moment with MET, and I got the non-unique officer sabotage. So for the moment, I'm thinking perhaps on Expert Tech and Intel officer. So right now I still have 55 points remaining. So let's see what's gonna be add to this list. Maybe I will remove MC30 to fit two Corvette. Um, but I will see. I will see.
All right. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting the tabletop up on the screen here.
He's nothing there yet. They're thinking about how to build it and all that. So it's
Okay, I think I might have it. I think I might have it up now. Yep, I do. Doesn't matter, but hooray! I did it.
we're definitely looking forward to seeing what you can craft with a Mothma list. So.
That we are.
Yeah.
Oh, I think somehow I screwed it up. Oh well, let's move on to Cameron here. Severus Snape. Bonk. Bonk. Hello.
Cameron? Cameron?
Yeah.
Hey. We pulled you in here to the casters with so what are you creating for us so far? What interesting treats do you have?
So thus far, I'm trying to work around those combat retrofits. They were, when you said solid originally, they're going to be my squadron points, but right now I'm trying to keep a Tycho in your decks so that I can keep pumping out those Z95s back with a Starhawk, my two combats, and two Hammerhead Scouts with quad batteries, ordnance experts, and task force.
Interesting. I like it.
Trying to get, because I can use the Magnites, slow them down, or speed them up, make them speed 2, and have my 2 at speed 1. Then they're going to get the extra die for quads and get to really, hopefully, hit hard.
I'm looking forward to seeing what objectives you pair with this too.
That's gonna be the fun part. I'll let you know when I figure that out.
All right. Well, let's move on to Meek's game here.
All right. Good luck, sir.
Yep. Thank you.
And we've pulled Meek in now.
Meek, Mike, Mook.
Mike.
I think Bastel's mad at me. I'm joining too many games.
Yeah, it gets that way sometimes.
So I think with the lack of flotillas, that really smarts. I think what I'm going to do is just make an absolute jerk of a list. Create just a points fortress in the Starhawk. Take all of the advanced gunnery and so forth. Because if I lose the Starhawk, I've already lost the game anyway, right? So might as well just maximize the points that thing is worth. And then I'm gonna have to figure out what on earth I'm gonna add in here with it that'll help finish things off when they bumble away from the Starhawks. So that piece I'm still working out here, but we'll figure that out. Maybe some rogues, maybe some TRC 90s just to give the Starhawk some level of support. But yeah, that's I think where I'm going right now. It's just making a big points fortress to come get it.
Nice. Sounds like a good plan. All right. I believe we have just Justin left. Biggs, unless you had any other questions for Mike?
No, not really. We're going to move right along. And he's already got quite a bit put together here once I move everybody around.
Ooh.
Hello. You've got, you had for a second there quite a bit put together.
Yeah, I'm going back and forth a little bit on
On a bunch of different options there. So what are you thinking so far with the game's greatest commander?
The command flexibility that Leia provides is
Blink twice if you're under duress.
I like how my my system muted you for that for the last bit of that. Like you just had a breakdown in it and just needed to censor you there.
So I am kind of looking at things where I don't need token.
Makes sense.
Yep. It's a solid plan.
I'm looking to try to take advantage of, some of the, what I know that's going to be in other people's lists. I know that Cisco has unique officers, and I know that that Louis has the non-uniques. So Louis, it's Mike who I would normally be super concerned about because he's got that Agate. But I know he's not going to have Waylax.
So you're building right now to potentially counter everybody else's fleet.
Yeah, I'm trying to build a fleet that I think could win the game if the four of us played today.
Smart.
Interesting. That's an approach that we might not see normally. All right. Well, we're gonna throw you back. We're gonna throw you back out there and bonk.
Good luck.
I don't think he heard your good luck because I kicked him back out into the contestants pool.
Well, that's fine. Do you want to check in with the judges, and I'll see how the contestants are doing for a little bit, and I'll check back with you in 5 minutes or so?
Sure. I need to update my currently spectating because I've been bad about that. I think I skipped out a couple of contestants ago. All right, let me go back to round one. Okay. This is some quality entertainment, people. We are doing this.
Definitely know what we're doing. This is not a public access show. We are
skilled transitions.
You might call us skilled first officers. At how good we are. I'm gonna duck the contestants before I have to duck your tomatoes.
Okay. Let's go check in with the judges. Hello again, judges.
Biggs.
And how are you folks holding up? I'm betting you just can't wait to see what these folks have set up in store for you.
We're very excited.
I keep thinking about, and by thinking about, I mean I occasionally have actually opened their vassal rooms, but none of them actually built anything yet. So kind of pointless.
Well, here's a question for you. When you're considering viability, are you thinking more like viability in a general tournament sense, or viability against the other fleets that are being created here?
We were arguing about that actually.
There is no wrong answer. You guys are the judges. I'm just here for fun.
I can't speak for the others. I had been thinking in a general sense. I mean, I'm going to throw the same questions at them that I throw at every list I make, which is, okay, what's your answer to two ship? Okay, what's your answer to a super? Okay, what's your, and I know these are all Rebel, or these are all Imperial builds so far, but like, what's your answer to Gallant Haven Yavara?
All right.
A convincing answer? Okay, next.
I'm gonna take the opposite track on that because this is a tournament setting, kind of, and that like that. So like it should be contained within the tournament. Like if you don't have an answer to two ship, but nobody brings it, it doesn't matter. In this particular case, all your opponents have Starhawks and they have Magnets. So I want to see lists that are capable of handling that, at least that part of it. And if they want to build kind of to work within this limited meta, I'll give them points for that.
All right.
Balance out that.
Bad idea.
I'm looking more at of a combination of effects that is going to be a credible threat, or if can have some really different things that might be a little less strong against an SSD, still work against a squadron build, and all lists are going to have and so I don't look for can this or can't this play into as much as I look for does this answer a big enough question that your opponent is going to stop and look at it and be like, I need to make a I'm going to be rolled by this.
All right. Well, I'm gonna.
Like that.
That is pretty good. We're gonna go and move on to check in with Geek, see what he has found out by chatting with the contestants here. You guys,
They're all doing good. They're all
okay?
a little bit nervous about their.
Into the caster's booth. Into the caster's booth.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, where we don't give away secrets to the judges. Hey.
Hey.
Again, skilled first officer. Yes. No, they're all building. I don't. I'm interested to see. I heard a little bit of what Ted, Mad, and GP were looking for in the judges' booth. I didn't comment, but I am very intrigued to see where they do with these slight limitations. And I don't think. I think the interesting trap, and now that we're in the caster's booth, the Agate easy grab there might be a little. I don't know how off the wall builds these people are looking for, and everything like that. So we'll see what happens because of that.
Okay. Let's go and check in with each individual player again. We'll start with Mike here, and see what he's generated for us so far. Hey there, Mike. What do you have?
Well,
What do you, as we get up ready and polished, end of time limit.
okay, so I've got this thing slapped together. Come at me, Han Brolo.
We're having a little.
Capitalize on the salvo. Christine Agate, local fire control. It can have up to 3 salvos potentially, depending on what list comes against it on the other side of the board. For objectives, I threw Fleet and Bean. It doesn't really complement the rest of the fleet, but it complements that Starhawk. Gives it lots of options to ready defense tokens mid-combat if it starts getting swarmed. The only real drawback I have to the Starhawk, of course, is it's difficult to have a finisher. So for finishers in there, at a TRC 90 and a whole bunch of rogues to go chase down whatever my opponent's got that's weak and vulnerable and go from there.
Nice.
Interesting. We're going to move on next to Louis Andre. Thank you very much, Mike.
Pull him. There we go.
And Louis. Hello. What do you have built for us so far?
Louis.
You are muted. Unmute yourself, sir.
There you are.
Okay, so present you my.
Not yet. Just what are you working on so far? We got about 5 minutes before time is called. So.
Oh, in fact, I'm done.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
done. So I had some problem to fit officer some enough interesting officer on the Mark I. So I end up with the classic Intel officer,
Mhm.
and I also pick up chart officer because it's only 2 points, of course, and I realized that with the Starhawk, it's pretty easy to to ends up on any obstacles. So and in fact, the last time I play him, I just had some problem to in the deployment phase because the opponent put a lot of obstacle in the middle of my deployment zone, and I almost lose the game because of that, because I didn't want to put it in front of that, and then the Starhawk didn't manage to get in the middle of the combat enough quickly. So that chart officer have a good role. And then I came up with the Leia Organa officer on a little GR, and with also the Comnet, because it's very useful on those two upgrade are kind of mandatory for Starhawk build. And I also come with the basic torpedo frigate with only the EPT and ordnance expert, and then I got Mon Mothma on classic.
Just checking. You said you had chart officer and Leia. I thought you only got one type of officer, not both. Not both of them.
No, I got Leia on the GR.
Right, but Leia's unique, and as is Hondo, but chart officer's not. So you didn't get both. Oh, we better let him get back to building that real quick, Biggs.
Yes, we do.
I think it was only on the Starhawk.
No. Sorry, that's officers total. So yeah, get that fixed real quick before the time's called. Oh no.
Oh, this is going good.
Oh, this is going great. Hello, Rasp. What do you have? What do you have put together so far? We still got a couple of minutes.
Well, I have on well, what you see in front of you, on the Starhawk, which I think shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone. I'm going to do boarding troopers there, and I've got 5 activations, even without an activation officer.
Just real quick, I noticed that you don't have. Oh, you do have. Whatchamacallit, objectives. I was worried for a second because I didn't see them face up, but you do have them. That's good.
Oh, we'll see him in a second.
Yeah, we've got to check in with our last contestant real quick, but thank you very much. Sorry for taking up your time asking for things that you already have.
No.
And whoa, that's nope. Okay, Severus, there you go. Now you're in the right channel. Sorry about that. Tell us what you've got put together here.
So, in a minute. There's
It's not meant for combat.
all right. I guess it's a pretty
Sorry.
description. So
Had
punch you back.
had some mic problems, but say what you said first. That got a laugh here.
I don't like combat retrofits. They don't go well with my buddy here. Sato's like, you put guns on a transport that really doesn't want to shoot.
All right. Well, we're coming up on time, so I hope everyone's getting their last minute upgrades put together here. And
Biggs, I'll let you kick Cameron back, and we'll.
Yeah. Let's head over. I'm gonna start counting down from 10 to give them last minute chances to finish things up.
And while you're explaining to the judges what they're about to see, I'll talk to the contestants a little bit. So.
All right. All right, gentlemen. You have 10 seconds left to finish up your lists. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. This is really not great for this. And, okay, well, that's it for your lists. Stand by. I'm going to go and chat with the judges, and we're going to pull you in one by one for you to tell the judges what you've put together. Hello again, judges. Hello again, judges. We've got good TV right now. So everyone's finished with their first round list. We're going to start bringing them in one at a time, and they can explain to you what they've put together, and you can move over into their vassal list to talk about what you see. So we're going to start with Mike P. And we're going to drag him over, and he's not going to know he's coming, unfortunately, because of how everything's set up. So, hello, Mike P. You're here with our judges. Why don't you tell them what you've put together for them to look at here?
Well, hello. I've put together a Starhawk list. I've named this list "Come at Me, Han Brolo." Gameplay-wise, I want to try and force my opponent to go after the big piece, the centerpiece of the fleet, and really that becomes the hinge behind the whole game. If he can take down the Starhawk, then he's won. But if he can't, there's really little left out on the board that he can take from me. So to make it especially difficult for the Starhawk, the centerpiece, I've got Agate on there, as well as the Unity title, and then with local fire control, this ship will have 6 defense tokens. It can have up to 3 salvos, depending on what's staring across the table. So not only would it be a difficult ship to take down, but it could be really painful for the opponent, depending on what ships they're bringing with it. So against the Swarm, lots of salvo, and against the big ships, the Starhawk should be able to go toe-to-toe either way. Big weakness here, of course, is the Starhawk is not a great finisher. It can do a lot of damage. It can take a lot of damage, but it's easy to get away from. So in order to support it, I've got just a very standard TRC 90. And then along with that, I've got a whole gallery of rogues, YT 2400s, and then Lando and Ketsu to be the real finishers to go after the crippled ships that are limping around on the table. 4 objectives, red and yellow seem pretty easy. Advanced gunnery for the Starhawk. Like I said, if I lose the Starhawk anyway, I've already lost. So it doesn't really matter if it's worth 200 points or if it's worth 350 points. Either way, the game is lost, so I might as well go for broke. So advanced gunnery on there. Fleet and beam just plays with the whole defense token piece, especially with the salvos. That's a big stack of objective tokens sit on the Starhawk that I can use to ready defense tokens. And then I think blue is probably my weakest, but Solar Corona, I don't have a great number of deployments, so Solar Corona can help offset that. It's a 3-point bid. You know, I'm comfortable going first or last, but it'll probably be up to my opponent. But try and kind of offset the weaknesses of the list using those objectives, should I be forced to go second.
All right. So I got a question for you. I got 2 questions for you.
Sure.
First question, you got 2 empty officer slots.
Correct.
And officers usually pretty highly contested. It can be very valuable. Did you give any consideration to something like ESTs or anything else like that?
Yeah, I considered it. I definitely considered it. I was looking to try and. I considered putting upgrades on the Starhawk just to put upgrades on there, just to focus the points more in there. But at the end of the day, I put those points towards more squadrons, so that I've got so I can touch a larger portion of the board and have more finishers out on the table.
Okay. And then I guess my second question for you is, with advanced gunnery and fleet, Solar Corona I like as an objective. Advanced gunnery and fleet and being, how do you force the engagement?
Yeah, it would be difficult. It would be it could potentially be a very slow game. But I've got the Magnites on there as well. So the TRC 90 and the Rogues have got some movement, and then I've got the Magnite tractor beams. So if we're oriented at least remotely close to each other, I can try and, if I can get to grips with them at red dice range, I can start to manipulate the opponent's speed a little bit to at least start picking off onesies and twosies. to kind of draw them in to the rest of the fleet.
It's a good strategy. I know. I'm not going to say that I don't do this occasionally, but I have seen a lot of players get poked at long range and then panic. So I don't think that's a terrible strategy. In summary, I like Lando and Ketsu to give the 2400s some punch. I think it's a perfectly solid list. You didn't go with my favorite yellow, but my favorite yellow is more of a default, and I think Fleet being will work just fine.
The focus on a salvo and having the Starhawk tank through, I actually like Fleet and B.
Yeah. It's not bad by any means. Why CR90 not Jaina's Light?
That's a good question. It could be in there. It just kind of comes down to what you see across a 1-point bid. Definitely not going to get to choose, but a 3-point bid, there's a lot of bids out there or lists that will kind of give you the option, and that potentially would give me the option depending on what I'm seeing. But yeah, I think that's a toss-up. It could go either way. Jaina's Light is usually points well spent.
Well, here's a follow-up. Given your druthers, would you prefer to go first? I mean, assuming that whatever's on the table doesn't force you in a direction. Just your own list in a vacuum. Would you prefer to go first?
Honestly, I think I would prefer to go. I think I would prefer to go second. I've already got a huge activation disadvantage anyway, so I'm not sure if it will make that much of a difference. A lot of my offensive power is actually reactive, and a lot of it is in the squadron phase as well. So I don't think that it's a serious consideration. But if the fleet across from me doesn't push me in either direction, I would be comfortable with this fleet going second.
All right. Well, we're going to move you down and bring in our next contestant.
All right.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you.
Next up will be Louis Andre. Hello, Louis.
Hello. So now, okay. Well, back. So here I bring a very nice Matma. The Matma fit on the Jaina slide with the TRC to um, to help all that. I put the Mark 1 with the Starhawk Mark 1 with the MET title to get the evade I do. And on top of that, I got the intel officer and the chart officer, which is very useful to be sure to put it right in the middle of the combat since the beginning, and a local fire cannon. Is it control? Local fire control to get this the two salvo in case one the opponent got uh, only one accuracy. So, and I also bring a classic Foresight MC30 on the torpedo frigate with the Ordnance Express and the APT. And of course, the two little squadron, the Taiko and Shara, to get in the middle of everything and try to receive some hits instead of the ship. And yes, so about the three objective, I got a decent build of 393, which is perhaps not enough to get the first very often, but kind of good in the type. I have advanced gunnery to help the Starhawk and contested outpost and to get some point and to to mess with the squadron of the other. So there's my fleet.
Right.
Interesting. It's interesting to me. Well, hang on. Yeah. So it's interesting to me personally that you chose to not put Mothma on Foresight and then Durlin, since that would be a more survivable platform than the CR90. But now you have a skinny Foresight that you can throw into the mix with Amity, and you can just you're not going to throw the ship's life away, but you can put it in more danger than you might want to put your flagship. So I think that's a nice little twist.
Yeah, because most of the time the Starhawk might be the one who will receive the volley. So I will try to play with the MC30 and the Starhawk right in the middle to to put the Matma safe in the back end place. Yeah, I was thinking, of course, to put Matma on the Starhawk, but I find it still pretty weak if it's not an agate. So I think it's more easy to fly away with a Corvette than a huge Starhawk.
I don't think I'm going to disagree. Speed 2 versus Speed 4 is twice as fast on a much smaller base, so you can fit in a lot more interesting places.
Yes, and Jenna Slide is always a good must and a good plus.
Well, this isn't really a question. I guess it's more of a comment. I like that your ships, like half your fleet, can almost ignore obstacle situations. And Jaina's, you got Charlotte. Starting it's a one-time use, but it gives you a lot more flexibility in that approach and how you maneuver in, not having to worry about that. And it also works, I think, well with infested fields later on, as you can put them you can put them where you want them without having to worry so much about whether or not you're going to run into them later.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. Did you give any consideration to something other than Chart Officer? Like what else was in the running there for you? Was there
Well,
anything else in the running?
uh, I was thinking of Bale because I'm a Bale guy most of it, but I realized that probably the chart officer might be a good plus because I also really wanted to have a good build to be first in the game because MC30 comes almost way better in a first build. So and I also the intel officer I wasn't sure about him, but I realized that there is not so many good other officer that can fit on him like that. Uh, well, in that case,
All right. Well,
I don't want to say too
Rational
much, but
answer.
thank you very much. I think it's time to move on to our next contestant. We're going to bring in Resprodius.
You said two different people, guys. Which one is it?
It is Resprodius.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Go on.
What you got for us, Rasp?
Well, I am running a Leia Starhawk. Um, I was
Shut
thinking
up,
so,
Chicago.
and that is why I decided on the Leia Starhawk. It's been popularized recently in a very public manner, and I felt that I'd see if I could do it justice. So I'm running Leia Starhawk. I've got boarding troopers, hopefully, on there. It's hard to read.
We do.
You do.
And then, so the hope is that I flip some tokens there, and then the hammerheads can clean up. I'm happy to take full advantage of the free reroll from Leia on those Scout hammerheads and TFO. And actually, the average damage on an X-Rex hammerhead with Leia and a concentrated fire is actually pretty reasonably good, especially for the points. So that's sort of how I rounded it out. Kind of picked some reasonably good objectives, I think, for a Leia fleet and for a Starhawk fleet that focuses on exhausting those defense tokens. I doubt that anyone's going to want to take most most wanted against a Starhawk or against those hammerheads. And Salvatron is free points, hopefully, with the ECX. And then the planetary ion cannon, I can kind of adjust those as necessary to make sure I'm getting my shots off. And if I get the crit effect, then I exhaust a token, which I can then go ahead and spend with boarding troopers and discard.
Let me ask you a question, Raz. When you were building this list, were you building it with the intention of playing it against anything in the game, or was it specifically like you assumed you'd be playing against somebody else that was under the same confines that you were, within this tournament setting?
Yeah, I was playing it with the I was keeping in mind actually quite a bit that who was in this tournament and what their restrictions on list building were. So I did build, particularly even the objectives and boarding troopers was very much keeping in mind that I would be going up against another Starhawk. The Amity title was because I knew that there was a Sato hanging around. And even to the point of taking kind of the vanilla comms net on that transport, I wanted to make sure that if I got magnited, then I had an ability to navigate away after that. That said, I mean, the Starhawk is pretty strong, and 5 activations is pretty solid from a tournament-wide sort of, or even a wider meta competitive scene. And this fleet comes out to 393, so if I want to play my objectives, I'm relatively confident that I can play my objectives with a 7-point bid.
Sorry, Gillette, had to mute you there.
There are definitely fleets out there that this would not hold up well against. But I think it's solid.
Let me ask you, and again, I'm gonna ask this question. You have 2 officer slots on the Hawk. That's usually a draw for the Hawk. You've left them both empty. Was there any what officers were you considering using? Did you really not have anything that fit for you? What was your thoughts on that?
I have to be honest. My go-to is generally going to be strategic advisor, especially with a list like this. Having that 1 extra activation can make a huge difference. Those hammerheads really want to delay as much as they can. And then, Walex is strong, but since this is a Leo list, I wasn't looking like I was going to be discarding a lot of defense tokens, like I would with Agate. So I decided that wasn't necessarily the way that I wanted to go. And then, again, the Sato player made me seriously consider putting DCO on the Starhawk as well to shut down those crit effects. But at the end of the day, I didn't have enough points for everything that I wanted to get in there, which is a pretty common issue to run into when you're list building, and they did not make the cut.
How do you feel about being able to push out enough damage with this fleet against another, perhaps more durable build?
Perhaps, I'm hoping that being able to flip both the braces in the event of or at least a brace and a redirect and perhaps a salvo with boarding troopers is going to make a huge difference in survivability across the board.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to bring in our last contestant.
Have decaps on the hammerhead.
Sorry, Gillette, I had to mute you for a little bit there because you were making some noise. And it's Cameron Severus. Let's go and check out his list. Severus, Cameron?
He's got
Is he muted?
shunted back to contestants.
Shunted back to... Why did he get shunted back to contestants? There we go. Severus!
Hey, am I in the right one now?
You're in the right one now.
Oh boy. Alright.
Tell us about your list. What do you have for us?
So this is Sato's Fury. And the whole idea of this list is to be coming in based off all the different objectives. Each has a different flying style for it. Trying to get those good long range shots with my hammerheads, and using the tractor beams to probably force ships up to speed 2 so I can drop them to speed 1 and use quads to get those extra dice. And just getting in there with the fighter squadrons, keeping them alive with reserve hangar decks, and using wedge whenever needed to move them back into range, or get them out of an engagement so I can activate them again and knock them right back into hell. Try to build to the strengths and add it in instead of the normal GR75s. I went combats because I thought about it. That one blue die with Sato, especially on opening salvo, if you add in another die, or you get 2 from that, concentrate fire, and can make 2 of them, or you can probably make them all black dice by the end of it. And that's 4 black dice from a combat. That's pretty effective, and otherwise they're good for flat cover for my squadron to keep them up and running, as well as being activation padding.
Okay, let's look at your list here. So is that 2 hammerheads on the end there? Yeah, that's 2 hammerheads.
Yeah.
Why Task Force Organa with 2 hammerheads? Are you just trusting that one will roll well? So you're effectively spending 2 points before I reroll on whichever one needs it?
Yeah. And then the goal, because I have ordnance experts, I'm hoping it comes up well. But I'm also a realist, and I expect there's going to be at least once where it doesn't. And I really want to get that extra in there.
That makes sense.
And honestly, the difference between 398 and 400, usually I've learned that doesn't get me a bid, so I'd rather get the extra little reroll instead of having a 2-point bid that most likely won't win.
That's a good consideration to be thinking, for sure.
So I like a lot of the things that you've done here. I like the hangar decks with the Z95s to give you a little bit of extra squadron presence. Tycho does nice work. Quad battery turrets. The hammerheads are a little expensive for me personally.
They're only 51 points.
No, but yeah, sure. But I do like what they do. I like the quad battery turrets. I think that works, and I think that, what's the goal with it? I don't know if you mentioned this. I want to see if you're thinking along the same lines I am before I give you credit for it. What are you thinking with the quad battery turret?
So I'm thinking by using the tractor beams, because I should have an activation advantage on them with 6 activations. So I can use my the crystal tractor beams and force them up to speed 2 and have the other 2 moving speed 1. And that should allow them to get off that shot and get the extra die at long range, because 2 black and a blue at long range is pretty good in my opinion.
Right.
If I get a con fire timed in there, then it can be 3 black and a blue. So I'm just trying to see what I can get at long range for as much damage potential, because it seems fun to say, hey, take 4 dice at long range, enjoy my blue as well. And I'm curious to see how it would work with being able to tractor beam and use that speed control to force them to fly how I want them with speed to give the other guys their shot.
I have one more question. When you built this, were you building it with the intention of playing it against anything that could be out there in the world, of Armada, or specifically within the constraints of this tournament, you expected to have to play against, the other 3 players in this competition?
So I've experimented before with some Sato ideas for the Starhawk, and I was trying to make just a all-around competitive. And my only real worry is probably slowness, just because they have such a fighter presence to where they can really shut down my Sato. That's kind of what Wedge's job is to push those squadrons if they're needing to get back into engagement range. And I'm hoping that the objectives will make it a little harder on them when they have to pick what they're going to do. So I'm trying to build all around. I think there's a few admirals out there that really have me afraid just because of their effectiveness for countering specific parts of the list. But I'm pretty confident they could go against most contenders and come out, if not on top, then hopefully holding its own.
And then I guess my last question. No title. On the Hawk. It's a lot of points, and the titles give you a little bit of extra defense and push. What was your thinking there?
Part of my thinking was I really wanted to have that strategic for the extra activation and have Wedge, so I didn't think I'd be able to fit the expert shield text, which drops Unity, and on top of that, I was going Mark 1. So that also already reduces the Unity's usefulness because I don't get that red at long range. And then Amity, while good, I think my Starhawk's trying to close range fast, so it might use it once or twice, but not a whole lot. And for me, honestly, Concord's just a little too expensive usually. I love what it's trying to do with give that other token, and its drop to speed 0 is always fun, but I'm already susceptible to accuracies because I wanted to see how much fun Sato could be in this, and get those long range black dice from all these different shots. So I needed the room to work with.
Points constraints are a real problem when you're list building.
They're always fun.
I really feel like I should be given an extra 50 points, and the rest of you should get 50 points less.
I mean, they'd still be 800 total points on the board. I'll give you that.
That's fair.
All right, so we're gonna leave the judges to debate and figure out who will be eliminated. Thank you very much, and we will be joining you. We'll be joining all the contestants in the contestants' room.
Okay.
So, Geek, which one did you think? Which one did you think you liked the best?
Do you want that in the contestants' room, or do you want that in here?
I want it in here for right now.
Oh, okay. I mean, I might be partial to Justin's list, as he is using the strongest commander the Starhawk has ever seen. But I liked the Leia list. I also appreciated how none of the contestants gave up the game, and why didn't you use a unique officer? Oh, I didn't need it. I appreciated that out of everybody.
That was very nice of them. And we would have had to instruct the judges not to pay attention to any of those statements.
Right, but I appreciate Matt asking that. I don't know if he was briefed or not, but yeah, let's move on. I liked the Leia list because, of course, it's a Leia list. And within the constraints, I really liked the Mothma list, and I've actually thought about running that myself because I'm still trying to make Mothma work. The Agate list looked pretty standard, and I didn't hate it. It was good. And the Sato list, considering all of the constraints he ended up with, I feel Cameron did a pretty good job. So, yeah. Which did you like most?
Honestly, the Sato list was maybe the most interesting one to me. The most competitive one, though, I feel like that was the one with so very many rogue squadrons. That looked pretty. I would not want to fly against that list. That's for sure.
All the Rogue Squadrons one, the interesting thing, I was taking a look about it, and I don't know if the judges are aware of this or going to factor it into their decision, but just doing some basic math here with Katsu and Lando, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Lando. If I'm doing this math right, That's 141 points with Ketsu and Lando in squadrons.
Oh no,
so
that is too many squadrons.
it might be too many squadrons.
If the
and,
if the
yeah.
judges picked up on that, that could be a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Well, let's go and have a chat with the contestants and see how they're holding up while we wait for the judges' decision.
Sounds good.
Hello, contestants.
Part of the fun factor.
How are you guys holding up, waiting for the judges' decisions?
I'm surprised I didn't get torn apart for combat retrofits. I was waiting on it. They left it alone after I said opening salvo combat retrofits, I think. So.
I mean, combat retrofits are definitely ships you can take. Yeah, that's most of what I can say about those ships.
I said they were either for flak support or for the opening salvo hope of getting 4 black dice out of them.
As I just said to Biggs in our private caster booth, I appreciated no one gave up the ghost and no one said like why didn't you put this in there? Because I wasn't allowed to. I appreciated that from all of you so far. So please keep doing that.
Well, that you asked us. We might as well.
Yeah,
We
it
gotta
was really
play
fun
by the
trying to justify no officers on that Starhawk.
Oh, that's for sure.
I felt like I was back in high school doing some tap dancing, and some presentation something. That's what that felt like. It was great.
I feel like
It was
they probably caught on by the time they saw our list. All right, these guys couldn't have officers. These two could.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm curious what your other list looked like.
Oh, merci.
So maybe after this round, are we allowed to see each other's list after this round?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Sort of. You guys are going right in around too, so.
My suggestion to everyone is to save your list. If you remember how to save a list to load it into Vassal later, save your list, and then you can post a link to like a Google Drive cache for that list in the forum thread or somewhere, and you'll all be able to rewatch this delightful show with all of its delightful mistakes after the fact.
Yeah, so Vassal just crashed for me again, so I'm guessing I probably won't be able to save that list. But I've got it on the fleet builder.
Oh no!
Yeah.
How long do we have on the judges? I still haven't gotten to make breakfast. I woke up and walked right into this wall. You think I have a few minutes to go do that?
Yeah, I think so. I'm still waiting for the judges to tell me that they have gotten their results in. They're still having what I would imagine is a lively debate. Looks like Geek is over there chatting with them. We're just filling dead time right now while the judges hem and haw and hem and haw.
They're almost ready. They're wrapping up. It's gonna be a minute or two, but they're making decisions. So.
All right.
For next talking, would it be okay if I went last so I can use the time after we finish the next round to take care of morning stuff?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm still in it, I might be able to just get ready after this, I guess.
This is the kind of hard kidding.
Wait, do I get to go with the Star Wars quote of "It might be you who are mistaken about a great many things"?
Star Wars quotes are very much appreciated at all times.
Be careful not to
Biggs
choke on
doesn't-
your aspirations there. I might be that last minute wild card, but I'd like to think I have a chance.
Biggs doesn't like your list. Geek doesn't like it either.
All right, they can fly against it. It'll prove itself then.
They are ready. I don't know how you want to pull everyone in, or if you're just pull
Okay,
them
I'm just gonna pull them directly in, and they can announce, and here they come. 1, 2, 3. Okay, all the judges are here, and all of the contestants have gathered. So, judges, render unto us your verdict.
Do we have a 4-person? Yo, Gil, you're the 4-person.
Oh, he just jumped into the judge's booth. pull Gillett back. We lost him.
He's gone. That's okay. At least as long as we have one judge.
There we go.
There we go. Technical issues. Sorry, guys.
Judges, render your verdict.
Due to merely creativity, all the lists we thought were solid. They were definitely something that playable, some really interesting parts to the aspects of like the creativity of the list and how much they were pushing the thinking. Have decided that Nick is the one that will not be making it into the second round.
Applause for Mike Meek.
No, it's Mike. Yeah, no, understood. Understanding the structure of this game, I think I fell into that trap of, you can sabotage yourself with the commanders, right? I think I gave the other contestants some more challenges, but also gave them more room for creativity. So I didn't want to mention that, like in any of the other interviews, but that was in the back of my mind as I was putting this list together. And so it's not a terrible surprise, but I enjoyed doing it. I had a lot of fun, and good luck to the rest of the contestants.
Will say
Thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah,
I've run that Starhawk build, and it is a super fun build. It's really solid and it's brawly.
Yeah, you got high points for viability.
Oh, yeah.
Fun. Like it's just.
It's going to work. None of us question that.
Yeah.
But it has worked before, and I think that's probably the difference with the other list that you saw, I'm sure.
A little bit, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much for playing, Mike. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on, and good luck out there. Fly fast, win big.
All right, thank you very much. Take care.
You're not gonna go with a win bigs, really?
That's
that option.
well, okay. Let's move the judges back to their booth, and then we'll discuss round 2.
We're gonna get ready for round 2.
Round 2. Who's the other judge? Matt. Okay. All right, so we're moving on to round 2. Congratulations, all of you. You have done well enough to get here. Let's go over how much remaining bids you have for round 3. Louis Andre has 395 points remaining for his list. Ras has 400 points. He didn't bid on anything. And I've spelled it Smape for some reason, has 397 points remaining for his bid. And we're gonna head right on into round 2 here. Round 2 is going to be, drum roll please. Thank you. Round 2 is
the proper tempo.
Round 2 is an Imperial MSU.
Ooh, I thought those were dead, Big.
They are, but we're gonna revive them into a horrific zombie for this game and this game alone. So, here are your rules for a proper Imperial MSU. We want at least 6 activations, and we want at least 5 combat ships. What is a combat ship? You tell me.
Can they have any larges in this Imperial MSU, Big?
Oh, actually, no. You are not allowed to have no larges.
Interesting.
Are mediums allowed?
Mediums are allowed.
They are not a large, so yes.
They are not a large. So I think it's time. I think it's time for our first sabotage, and much like the previous sabotage, it is a commander pack.
Ooh.
So this.
Love that enthusiasm.
So this commander pack has in it 3 different commanders, in order of their official rank. You have Admiral Constantine, Admiral Screed, and Emperor Sheev the Senate Palpatine.
Solid group of commanders there.
Solid group of commanders, all of them great for MSUs.
Oh,
Well,
I think 5 points is a great place to start the bidding at.
I would agree. Do I hear 5 points for commanders?
Yes.
Louis Andre's willing to bid 5 points. Do I hear? Let's jump right up to 7 points. Do I hear 7 points for commanders? £7 going once. 7 points going twice. And we are sold to Louis Andre. Which commander would you like, sir?
It's gonna be weird, but I want Constantine.
Okay.
All right.
Don't let me tell you otherwise. Who would you like to hand Sheev to? The Senate, Palpatine.
Palpatine's gonna go to Mr. Rasproteus.
And we
That
continue
means-
the alliteration then with Severus, Sato, Screed, Snape, Mamillion.
okay.
All right.
I'm gonna use that with the judges. Be like, I'm going for an S theme here. I'm, Severus, so I'm gonna
Nice,
go.
nice. It's a good plan.
Name.
All right. Biggs, do we have another one? Or are we gonna
Excellent.
wait?
I think we will see more sabotages as things go. You folks might as well get started.
Okay. Now to remember what Screed does, I've never thought.
Oh no!
This could only go well.
This is delightful.
Hey, this is where the unique ideas come from. You don't know how you're supposed to fly someone. You can't fly him wrong because you think he's right.
All right, so timer starts now. It is 1:45 my time, which means that at 2:15 it will be time to reveal your final products.
Okay. Biggs, you want to hop in the caster's booth real quick?
Yeah, let's hop over there.
All right. Do we want to talk a little bit to the judges about what they liked and didn't like from last round?
Yeah, and let's chat with them a little bit also about what they expect to see in this coming round with an Imperial MSU.
All right. I'll talk to the contestants. You talk to them.
All right.
You need to ignore the illegals.
Hello, judges.
Tell them, but
You're live again.
That was fast.
Timing. All right.
So, why don't you tell us a bit about what you like about the from the previous round, and we'll also say that this current round is going to be an Imperial MSU.
Ooh. I'm told that's dead.
It is, and we're bringing back its corpse for one more huzzah.
Everyone gets full creativity points.
Some may be more creative than others.
I was gonna say, so I had a little chart that I wrote down, and I had creativity, list viability as far as it works together, like tournament viability and strategy behind the list, and I marked them off on those. I had that strategy-wise, I felt that Proteus had the strongest overall idea for his fleet layout and what his plan was to do for his win condition. I gave for viability, I liked Louis' list a lot, where he had both a strong but not overexpensive Starhawk, but also a lot of fast threat as well in his MC30 and his CR90, and then the activation strength and just sheer number of attacks in Severus's Sato fleet I thought was really, really good as well. So all of them did pretty well in viability, but a couple of them got extra points for creativity and strategy that they put into the list building.
Thank you. Gillid, what do you think? What did you like about the list for the last round?
I thought that they, and this is something that they all did. All of them went out of their way to find they found ways to cut points that they might have otherwise wanted and still keep viable lists. So, like, the example I'm going to use is Rasp's gun line, but they all have something I can point to this, where normally that gun line, the scout hammerheads carrying slave turrets, the torpedo hammerhead frequently has a boarding team of some variety. Louis' list, you typically see the Foresight with some sort of other damage-reducing officer. But they all found ways to save cost to fit that monster that is the Starhawk into the list, and still have a working list.
Excellent. And Matt, what did you think?
Everyone, I think, created a viable list, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. I think that my compatriots have already really hit on what a lot of the things they did really well in terms of, like, competitive fleet construction. What I liked was a lot of the creativity shown. Like, I liked Cameron's list a lot, or Severus' list a lot. I liked a lot of moving parts, but I liked Officer Wedge, getting him in there and using him as a way to reposition with Sato. I like that he has that allows him to do that. I like using the RHD, multiple instances of RHDs with the C-95s as a way of kind of adding to the squadron for at less points, and then he can even use Wedge after they come back to kind of put them back into the fight if necessary. So there's a lot of things I really liked about that. I really loved the opening salvo combat flotillas, turning those combat flotillas into threats. I liked the VCX and Rasp's fleet with PIC and with salvage run, giving him that little extra push if he has to go second. I love the boarding teams. That's fantastic. And I like Lewis's. I mean, Louis just did a great job. But the choice of Foresight with Mothma instead of the obvious choice of Admonition. People take Admonition, they just kind of staple it onto that card. But with Mothma, I think Foresight is actually, in a lot of times, the better title, and that was a good tactical choice, but it's also, it shows that kind of outside the box thinking, which I love to see.
Okay.
I like Chardoff.
Sorry to cut you off here, but I have been notified that it is time for another sabotage, so I'll be back to you in just a second. Hello, gentlemen. We may have another sabotage inbound.
Oh boy.
This sabotage is critical lock. What's that mean?
That means I'm rebuilding.
If you win this sabotage, you are the only player allowed to take critical effect upgrades. That would be like APT, ion ECM, heavy ion emplacements, that sort of thing. XX9s.
MS1s, ion cannon batteries, all these great cards.
Yeah, I don't even know how much that would be worth. Well, let's just have someone throw out a bid. Anybody?
I need a moment to consider.
I will let the other player have fun with bidding.
Louis, with your 10 points already invested, yeah, I can understand.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yes.
Oh yes.
Please, Screed doesn't like this.
So what would Screed like to bid then?
Screed will start this at 3.
Okay, we have 3, and then we immediately have 4.
Who said 4?
Did someone say 4?
No.
Nope.
I overtalked.
Okay. Do we have a 4?
No.
All right. 3 going once. 3 going twice.
I'll go for 4.
Oh,
There we go. There we go.
now we're playing. Now we're cooking with dynamite.
Cooking with
5.
APTs.
Well, did I hear a 5? Do I hear a 6?
He can have it for 5.
All right.
Unless Louis, you want a bid?
Oh, I don't.
All
I'm
right.
fine with.
Going once, going twice. Sold for 5.
All right.
Going down to 392.
That's next round. That's next
Mhm.
round. You don't need to worry about this round.
That's what I'm telling myself.
What's wait, hold on, people. Hold on. I'm getting word that we have yet another sabotage.
Ooh.
Oh my, this sabotage is called the Quasar Fire 2 class cruiser carrier.
Oh, come on.
If you win the Quasar Fire 2 class cruiser carrier, you get to pick a player, and that player must include a Quasar Fire 2 class cruiser carrier as their flagship.
Ooh.
I feel like that's worth at least 3 points.
Oh, that's a solid 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna throw my list out the window now.
Is that worth 3 points? Who's that worth 3 points to?
I have a follow-up question.
Yes.
Does that deny the other players the ability to use a Quasar?
A Quasar Fire 2 class cruiser carrier, yes. The Quasar Fire 1s will still be on the table. Is there 3 points for anybody on this?
I will go with another 5.
I'll do 3.
Oh, I've got 5 from Louis already.
Yes.
Do I hear 6? Six points? 6 points going once. 6 points going twice.
I will go for 6.
Oh, and who's that?
Justin.
Raspberries.
Okay, Rasp says 6. What about, is anyone willing to bid 7 points?
I am.
Luis says 7 points.
I can definitely see Louis as can't wait to bid those 7.
Do I hear 8 points? Seven points going once. 7 points going twice.
I'll go for 8.
Oh, 8 points. Do we hear 9 points? 9 points going once. There are 8 points going twice.
Nope. I let that to Justin.
8 points to Resprodius, and who gets the honor of a Quasar Fire 2?
I honestly, I feel terrible about this. But I believe that will have to go to Severus.
Start redesigning. The second you guys said this was happening, I knew I couldn't outbid Rasp, but I was getting this thing.
I mean, it's a great ship. There's so many different ways you could do things with it.
Don't even start with me, right? You have time? Do I get extra time, or do I have 15 minutes?
No, you've got 18 minutes or so. So.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
But that is I believe that's the end of the sabotages for this round. So.
That is.
Yep.
At least.
All right, Biggs. Let's do some individual. Let's go into the caster's booth and pull some people in individually as they build their list.
Okay, give me 1 second here while I do a little bit of record keeping.
I've got it. Don't worry.
Okay.
There's a Quasar Fire 2, right? So
Yes, sir.
It's the extra expensive one.
It's the extra.
Yeah, the extra expensive one.
Oh, expensive. I heard defensive.
All right, into the caster's booth we go. So do me a quick reminder how much that first bid was. How much that first bid was for there.
I've got
the
Louis
one
Andre has bid 10 total points for the next round,
right.
and Cameron and Justin both have bid 8 for the next round. So.
Yep. That sounds right to me.
Yep. It's you gotta bid something just to make sure you go to the next round. You can't just you can't just hope that you'll slide on through. So I'm interested to see what all of them are thinking about so far. So.
Yeah, let's bring Louis in and see what he's thinking. Hello, Louis. What are you putting together for us right now?
Okay, so I have the choice to play with customs, and for that I only take 2 medium ship. So the Vic 1 Cluster Star Destroyer with only Ordnance Expert and External Rack. I got a lot of Ordnance Expert and External Rack in that build. So a naked little Gazanti. 3 times the Ritter 1 with Ordnance Expert and External Rack, and the flagship's gonna be the Interdictor with the title Projection Expert, Disposable Capacitor G8 Experimental Projection, targeting Scrambler to try to keep those little fly alive.
Nice. I'm not seeing it in Vassal so far, but I'm sure you'll have it uploaded in the next 15 minutes or so.
In perhaps the next minute.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I see it. Yep. It's coming. I see what's coming. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it. I like the idea.
Yeah. But it was fun to try person with 6 activation and Constantine. Yep.
All right, let's move on. We'll chat with with Justin next. Hello, Rasp.
Well, hello.
And what have you put together for us so far?
I have to say that, yes, this is a list with Emperor Palpatine as its commander. And this list is effective against. I honestly, I believe that this is a solid MSU list.
I like it. I like what I'm seeing so far. Which want to give it a quick rundown?
Yeah. So Palpatine on the Hero is a flagship. I've got a bunch of black dice ships in this fleet, and bringing it out to 6 activations. The ECM with Tua on the flagship, and then I've also got the Vader officer kicking it in the background for a while. Because I had 1 point and no officer on the generally speaking, I mean, it's not going to do a lot of good for the Raiders without any officers on there, but that's 3 points, and where am I going to get it?
That's a very valid point.
So, here, let me show you my objectives too.
Looks good. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
I'm throwing the Ion Storm in there. I don't know if it's any good, let's be honest. But it does let me score points, and I don't have any critical effects on my fleet right now. So there's a chance that it'll come in helpful. Rift Ambush to give Harrow speed 4. Enough said. And Salvage Run, because again, I like points. I've got a bunch of ships that don't like to be shot at, and the dust clouds are going to be very useful in that scenario.
That they are.
All right. So let's move on and check in with our last contestant.
How's it going, Cameron? Great. So you sound good about this. Very confident in that fleet.
Oh, I'm not making it through this. I'm not. There's no way on this earth I make it through this, but I'm gonna try.
All right. Biggs, I can see he's throwing this together in Vassal. So I'd say let's let him build.
We will let you be. That's only fair.
Complete faith in you. Good luck, bud.
You got this, buddy.
I'm having some difficulty with Vassal for some reason. If it keeps going up, could I tell someone and explain the list and have them spawn my cards in? Would one of you guys be free to do that?
Yeah, we'll leave Geek to help you out with that. I'm gonna go chat with the judges.
Okay.
All right.
Hello.
You can go through with
a hi, Biggs.
squad one.
Big.
Hey, how are you? What are you folks looking in an Imperial MSU?
Some way to survive not getting insta-gibbed at long range.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Like, this is MSU's problem overall, but it's a particular problem for Imperials, is that a lot of the Imperial smalls, and even mediums to a certain extent, rely on close range. So you got to be able to survive getting to close. And then alternatively, you have to find a way to skirmish at long range cost effectively. So you've got the Arc, you've got the Raider 2, you can slap decaps on it. You blink and those are both 60-something, 70-something. You're gonna have to justify how you're finding your long range skirmishing, suppressing fire to make.
All right.
I'm also looking. I'm looking very hard at creativity here, so I think with MSU it can be a little bit. Like, there's only so many really viable choices. So if someone can show me something that I really didn't expect to see, I would really that's going to earn them a lot of points with me.
I'm looking for something that has a kind of mix where it has the ability, as far as like a viable list goes, it has the ability to project threat consistently, but also has some elements that are allowing strong close-in punch that can deter the opponent from, just dropping a MC-75 or a Liberty or a Kuat and just like, in the case that they were to fly into a list like that, why is that ship, not just flying through your Architect's line and destroying 3 of them? Like, what is it that? How are they working together to support? How are the ships working together to support one another on a strategic level? And what questions are they proposing to their opponent?
And to all the people out there listening, you can bet your bottom dollar that an MC-75 can get a double kill on 2 otherwise untouched Arquitens in 1 activation. Source, me at Orlando 2 years ago. Those were my light cruisers.
That's we're bringing back painful memories for GP over here.
Oh no.
Untouched. Oh, well, there's the front arc. Oh, and there's external racks. It went splat.
Oh. I've had Raiders one-shot Architens. It's not a...
Yeah, but a Raider can't do 2 of them.
No, not at once, for sure.
I've seen what Raiders can do. They do some terrible things.
All the Imperial smalls have some kind of flaw in them, and how the contestants manage to work around that and make it into a viable list in an archetype that isn't very strong now anyway is going to be a large part of how they succeed. Which is
I'd agree to that.
Sure.
And the other challenge is going to be that the fixes for some ships won't fix others. Raiders really like Ozzel. Arquitens will use him, but they don't really care. They want JJ. Ditto if you've got... Sure, you can speed 0 with Ozzel, but, like, why? So that's going to be... That's the other layer of the challenge there, is that almost all of these flaws are commander flaws, and you only get 1.
All right, no, that's all very fair. Looks like we've got Looks like we got about 7 minutes left on the clock.
Oh.
Don't want dead air. Let's go. Let's
I'm
go.
Sure we can find something else to talk about.
So why don't we talk about like what kind of things we would expect to see? Like what are the basic components that you would see in an MSU? Because we have for Imperials the viable small combat ships are I almost said Demolisher, Gladiator, Star Destroyers, Architens.
No, you said
It's okay. You said it right the first time.
We start
And,
this demo.
and Iden Versio Raiders. And
Well, that's a single ship, and a cruiser that has like 3 builds that are pretty easy to justify, and then if you want your 13-point engine techs, you can go futz around with those.
sure. Yeah, like the option for, I mean, I run still a Corvus, Iden, X-Rax Raider one in almost every list.
It's a great cruise missile.
Yep.
It is the SSN-22 shipwreck of Armada. Probably.
Front
Cruise
towards
missiles, they don't come back.
front towards the enemy.
the Nebulon plan.
It's a lawn dart with a rocket engine on it.
I was so sad when I came back to this game and I thought I looked at some of the new stuff and I was like, oh, and I put that raider together. I was like, oh man, I can't believe nobody thought of this yet. And then I was like, oh, everybody thought of this yet.
All right.
Let's
I'm
go.
looking forward to seeing what the contestants can pull together, given that this is easily the most bemoaned. And speaking as somebody doing a lot of the moaning, the most bemoaned archetype in Armada, probably at this instant moment.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, let's go and chat with the contestants for a bit. See how they're putting their final bits together. Hello.
Slightly better. Hello?
Howdy.
How is everybody coming along? You got about 4 minutes left on the clock here. Everyone should be putting your final touches together.
I have a fleet. I don't have words to describe it.
Amazing.
No,
A terror
no.
to behold. You know, those are all viable options.
I'm gonna call it Heresy of the Highest Order. That is going to be the fleet's name.
Heresy of the Final Order.
There we go.
There we are.
Heresy of Order 66.
Except I have Palpatine in my list. Oh wait, spoilers?
Alright, I'm doing Heresy of the Final Order is this thing's name. It's
It's a list.
yeah. It's got a very weird ship that I did, I guess, the best I could. I put boarding engineers on the Quasar so they can just charge in boarding engineers, I guess. That's its life goal. That it's gonna die with Screed on it to do that. And I know it's gonna die. But, whatever.
Biggs, I wasn't in the judge's booth for you the whole time. What? Well, never mind. I'll have to. Let's go to the caster's booth. That's
Yeah, let's go in the caster's booth. Oh, that's not the caster's booth. That's the caster's booth.
What do the judges know about the Imperial MSUs? May I ask? Considering we've got several people using several medium-based ships.
Well, the judges should know what these folks know is that we're looking for 6 activations, no larges, and and at least 5 quote-unquote combat ships. And if you want to go and remind them of that fact, that may be helpful.
We get ready to pull.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, you guys have less than 2 minutes to go.
Oh, uh-oh. Alright. I'm leaving my list out, but I am going to try and spawn in the stuff for a different thing real quick then.
Okay.
Last-minute changes are a sign of confidence.
Confidence and quality.
Um, um, that's one way to call it. Disposable capacitors aren't worth it on a Raider 1, though. Dang it.
No. No, they aren't.
Oh, sweet Lord, have mercy on my poor soul. Alright.
All right, less than 1 minute remains.
Yep, they're all ready. They are ready to judge
Nope,
some
nope.
over there. So.
I found a way. I have to spawn a squadron, though. TIE Defender. Alright, yeah, this is heresy. Complete and utter heresy.
Oh no. Oh no.
I fully expect the Imperials in that crowd. They're going to kill me. They're gonna come to North Dakota. They're gonna find me. They're gonna cut my head off.
I'm just pulling up your list live for just a second to show things that may have changed slightly.
Oh, let's keep this a mystery as to everyone listening, because I believe we have time's about to expire in counting down from 5 instead of 10.
4, 3, 2, 1, and you're set. That's it. Vassal down. All right.
Oh God.
It's a lovely bit. To the judges booth.
To the judges booth.
Alright,
Hello, judges. Hello, judges. Are you ready to judge?
We're
Ready as we're ever gonna be.
Wait, what am I doing?
That's the ticket. That's the ticket.
Our job? Not that we're getting paid.
So we're gonna start with
You're paid and experience.
we're gonna start with Louis.
I was actually an artist once, so those words really hurt.
People die of exposure.
Oh.
Hello, Louis. We are going to be judging yours first, so why don't you tell the judges about your list here?
Okay, so I pick up the Constantine. So I, of course, needed to have at least 2 medium, which is the Victory 1 and the interdictor. So to fill the need of 6 activation, I put 3 times the same raider. So the basic ordnance expert and external racks again, and a little comnet to be able to send a nav token or a repair token in needs for every kind of situation. So the base of that build are very in the end of the interjector, which he gonna have to do a lot of defensive and also to control the opponent fleet. So that fleet have to be played as a little bit of a defensive, and then at the good moment they go quickly in the offensive zone and try to hit as much as they can. Yep. I wanted to put Tua and ECM on the arrow to make it a little bit more stronger, but I was very close, and I think that G8 was very more important because I flew sometime Constantine, and G8 or tractor beam is something that we really have to add to make Constantine very more useful. And I'm done with my explanation.
Let's see. What objectives you picked most wanted so the Corona can
yes.
just that list.
I was actually looking at those, and I had questions about why you chose with a defensive fleet. Why would you go with those particular objectives?
Yeah, so Solar Corona, it's of course for the defensive. I want to be able to do the brace on the red. Contested outpost. It's always a good choice to to have some extra point, and the other player have the first player have to go sneak around to get it. So it's very perfect to trap the opponent in my plan. And the most wanted it's mostly because adding a dice on every attack on a specific target, it's one of the best way to gain the edge, and also a lot of point because of the end game part. Yes, I did not want to put opening salvo because I find it very too risky, because every ship can get only um, one hit, and then you give a lot of point of the on the opponent. So that's the reason why I really prefer Most Wanted.
I don't think anybody's going to disagree with you that opening salvo is a hell of a rip.
It's also when you have a bunch of raiders with X-Rax, very potent.
Provided they live to reach their targets. I don't think he's necessarily wrong there.
Oh, I won't
Yeah.
disagree. I've definitely run that before.
Yeah, but it's because targeting Stormbrewer and Projection Esper can help a lot, but nah, not that much. So
These are
we
limited capabilities.
yeah, and you have to fly to be in range of the close range, and yeah, that can be extremely risky. So uh, I do believe I have to play that, like I have to sacrifice at least two raider. Perhaps sacrificing the Gozansi can be a good choice. Uh, but yeah, that's a kind of build that you gain advantage here and there and lose advantage. Not lose advantage, but lose some of your ship to gain those advantage. Yeah, and squadless because I think Constantine is a very good admiral for to go quick at the activator, the squad activator, and to accept to lose to some ship some point due to the squadron of the opponent. And you have to yeah, and you have to put more than just Valen and Sian, even if they can do a very good job. But it's so easy to just get counter by Intel squadron, and yeah. So at the end, it's a kind of a waste of point. Yeah. And yeah,
It's all pretty
maybe
self-explanatory. I'm not too.
it's maybe the disposable capacitor that no, disposable capacitor always did a very good job. Yeah,
Uh,
As far as I'm concerned, disposable capacitor is just staple to my interdictors, so I completely
yeah,
agree there.
yeah.
all
And
right.
for
Well,
3 points, it's very it's most of the time very useful. It's pretty rare that you don't use it until the end of the game.
It's better than a
Sometime,
combat reset.
yeah.
Yeah.
well, thank you, Louis. We're going to bring in Rasp next.
Perfect.
And Rasp, you're in with the judges now.
Greetings.
Good afternoon. It is afternoon where you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's take a look at what you've brought for us.
Well, judges, today I present to you my Emperor Palpatine list. This list is going to strike fear into the hearts of my enemies because I just throw a lot of black dice, and every single ship has the opportunity for an intel officer. So if I lead with Demolisher, for example, I can intel officer essentially with with Palpatine, your brace, and then dump 7 black into your front arc. And then go on my way. And then follow up with one of the Raiders or Harrow. And Harrow's going to dump a bunch more dice into your face, and you don't have a brace that time. So yeah. I think that it's relatively difficult to kill the VSD because I have ECM on that. He can take a shot and then return fire. And with both Ordnance Experts and Commander Vader on there, I can aggressively reroll to get that 11, 12 damage that I'm really looking for out.
Alright. So you have no bid by my count?
I have 0 bid. That is correct.
And then what objectives do you have, Hero?
Well, I picked Ion Storm just to do something a little different. I think, the temptation is always to go for Most Wanted. But I decided, Ion Storm, I don't have any other crit effects. And so, I can score some points off that. If it doesn't look like I'm going to get through the shields, then it's 15 points.
15 points every time you hit them, too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's see, and then you have Rift, Ambush, and Salvage Run.
Yep, that's right. Rift, Ambush to make Harrow speed 4. I feel like that's gonna be solid and terrifying. Perhaps I can use the dust clouds from Rift to conceal my raiders as they approach and do some forking. And then Salvage Run, yeah, it's points and it's more dust clouds in a fleet that really likes to get up close and personal. You really can't beat dust clouds for covering the standoff fleets that want to hit you on the way in.
Simons and Akbar definitely aren't fans of them.
Should see how onagers feel.
Is this the part where I'm supposed to care about how they feel?
No.
Okay, good, because I don't.
Well, I mean, I care about making them feel bad.
Fair enough.
They should already feel bad.
In case anybody wondered what the panel of judges thought on otters.
I like it when it's mine.
All right. Any questions from the judges?
I'm looking and I'm thinking.
Yeah, Salvage Run, I like it. I understand the dust clouds and everything. What did you consider something like Infested Fields? Just get the Exequarths in there to deal with squadrons.
Yeah, my experience with Infested Fields has been pretty positive in general, but I do feel like you need some squadrons to lock down your opponent's squadrons if you can, and let the Exegors hit them. I've fallen prey too many times to hit and run kind of tactics from my opponents where they left the Exegorth and I couldn't stop them.
I feel like 3 Raider 1s makes squadrons a little more hesitant to jump in on that as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of
If that fleet bunches up in flax.
Glad those aren't my X-Wings under those guns.
Right.
Yeah, if I had points somewhere for like Instigator, then I would have considered Infested Fields a lot more closely. Likewise, I really would have liked to fit Iden into this list as well, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. I can't see anything that I would give up in order to get Iden into this list. So
Certainly not 6 points of give up.
All right.
I mean,
Well,
I guess let me clarify. There is one thing that I would definitely give up, and that would be a Raider.
All right. Well, we're going to bring in our last contestant here.
Thank you very much. Yes.
And here's our last contestant, Smape.
All right. So
What do you got for
this
us,
is
Cameron?
this is my heresy of the final order. It's it's a unique list. I don't think you'll ever see anything else like this.
I'm confident of that.
I've been watching too much Cutthroat Kitchen. It's a deconstruction of an imperialist.
That's yeah. So I'm sure a lot of you are Imperial players, and I needed to think of something that I wanted to make something you've never seen before, just to prove that it maybe could be done. The goal here is to prove that you can fly Screed with a Quasar and make it.
That's a
It's a hell of an order.
yeah.
So,
All right.
Tall order.
Yeah. So
Alright.
I decided I wanted to go for massive activation advantage, lots of shooting because Screed loves to shoot, and go for lots of crit effects. So lots of HIEs, some assault protons in there, a standard demo, and then the Quasar, when I thought about it, it's like, all right, going for a build around Screed, I really don't want a whole lot of fighters. What if I made a Quasar that's just a boarding troopers deployment because it gets to flip 4 tokens and say no? So then I can roll in with a big old demo, come in and say, oh, that's a nice ship you have. Oh, sorry, it was a nice ship. After having had HIE with the just decaps blow away their shield. And then if it somehow survives, I'm hoping to follow it in with an Arc Quintins that just comes in, and with my faith on red dice, I wanted a turbo laser reroutes on there just to guarantee I get at least 2 damage, because red dice just like me apply 3 blanks to start, so then I'll discard a blank and make a crit.
Your faith in red dice is as strong as mine.
Yeah, red dice have a passion for making me suffer. So I decided that I take away their choice and they have to do what I want them to do. They get no choice in the matter. And then just because I wanted to make sure to keep my 6 activations, I did add a comms net in there. I figure I can toss around some nav tokens, some concentrated fire, hopefully play to the different objectives. I feel a little bad. Similar to the last ones, but small ships just love opening salvo because those 2 extra dice are just so big. Getting to add in all that extra firepower. Hyperspace Alt is a new one for this show just because popping in out of nowhere, you really get to pop in and say hi, and they just don't know what to do with it. Especially if you can time it right and get the placement good. And then Solar Corona, because getting an activation or getting to have a deployment advantage is going to be big to make sure I can swarm and blow up whatever they care about most. Hopefully, if it's a Super Star Destroyer, getting around its side and praying it's not a Rod that's going to flip 360.
That takes 2 turns. Jeez.
Is that Defender part of the fleet?
I forgot to delete that, so it was supposed to be gone, but it is now part of the fleet. Yes, I'm at exactly 400.
Fair enough.
So why the Defender?
Originally, before I had a different memory of Screed when I first started. I was like, Screed fighters, this will be great. And then I thought about it, I was like, crap, no, and started deleting fighters. And I started to move all those points onto ships and stuff. It's been a little bit since I flew a Screed. Sure. So I got rid of everybody else, and then I looked over and was like, okay, I'm good. I went on and built. But I feel like that TIE Defender, he could come in and use. I've had way too many ISDs get away on one haul, and I'd love to be able to activate them from any ship, roll up, and say, no, you're dead.
Okay.
I have a lot more faith in that black die than I have in that in that blue die than I have in any of the others, especially on a bomb.
Let's say you managed to delete that. What would your next thing have done? been? What upgrades would you have gone to next?
Well, I wanted to have a strong bid, so if I'd been able to remember that guy, I probably would have done some more stuff with the Arquintans, but I was mainly building around keeping it low on overall points, so it's spread out. That way, a single loss or losing 2 or 3 things doesn't hurt as much, and have a good point spread, so that there's not as many single targets they can choose and say, if I kill that and run away, I'm gonna have a massive win. Wanted to make it to where it's a bunch of quick maneuverable ships and go for that swarm, and try to get a real deployment advantage on them, either through Corvus drop and then deploying from there, or hoping that they go with Solar Corona because the other two are rather nasty in my opinion for objectives. But yeah, I wanted real hard to prove that not just a Quasar, but a Quasar Fire 2 could really work if you were crazy enough, or, well, you can define it what I am, crazy or stupid. We'll see if it ever touches the table and gets to fly, which it is. But yeah, I wanted to see if I could build some heresy and prove that it could work.
Worthy goal.
All right. Well, thank you. If there's no other questions, we'll let the judges deliberate and come to their conclusion. Thank you very much.
We'll hop back to the contestants.
Been nice talking with you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Cameron.
All right, gentlemen. While the judges are deliberating, why don't you tell us all the...
You never know.
No, I'm out. I can hear it in Gilead's voice. He said noble ambition. That's the key word, ambition. All right. So, Biggs, out of curiosity, what did you have against Screed this round?
Well, Screed was supposed to be the good commander of that list. So I put in ways for people to screw Screed over after somebody bid and selected him.
Yeah.
Only you didn't bid and select him, so what the heck, dude?
No. Yeah, I feel like not only did I have to get Screed, which I honestly wanted Constantine. I had a plan for him.
What?
Should have bid higher then. Should have been higher. I mean,
I didn't think anyone would take him. No one likes him. So I was like, all right, I'm probably going to get Constantine just because no one likes him, but he's better than Palpatine in this particular build.
I also have to admit that the reason that I did not bid was because I figured that I would get Constantine, and I thought I could maybe do something with Constantine.
Yeah, I think I surprised everyone by choosing. Constantine.
I didn't. I honestly didn't realize that the Imperial faction feels about Constantine the way I feel about Leia. You guys all have Constantine lists that you're ready to go for, and you just
import and go.
It's more that Constantine he allowed us to do something creative and unique, I think. But
yes,
like then I got Screed and I started building, and I knew something was going to happen. And then the crits, when I was like, all right, I need my crits. Then I heard Quasar Fire 2, and I'm like, oh god, there's no way that anyone else is going to let me win this bid. So I just sucked it up and started redesigning right there. And then I got to the end of it and realized, crap, I left the fighter on. Oh well.
Nice.
It was I want to at least say I made an effort, but I don't know if that even counts. It was a build.
Yeah, hang on, I'll hop over. Biggs, keep talking.
Okay. Well, it certainly is a build. I'm gonna let you know that a different version of how everything was gonna go was gonna have the Imperial MSU be the first one, and instead of The first challenge, the first sabotage being the 3 commanders. The first sabotage was going to be Darth Vader. Which one do you want? There's 4 Darth Vaders. There's 4 of you.
Oh wow.
Do you want Commander Vader? Do you want Officer Vader? Do you want Boarding Team Vader? Or do you want Squadron Vader?
Yeah. No.
And then hand the rest out, please.
Yeah. That was. Oh.
In my case is the choke one. The choke one is so good.
Going back just for a second to Constantine, I think it is true though that it's fun to design a Constantine list. It's not fun to play it, so this is really the perfect time.
Yeah.
Back when there's still hope that the Constantine choice will work out, and you haven't played 4 rounds of it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's the perfect way.
Constantine lists are great right up until the very moment where you put them down on the table, and then you're like, oh no.
Hey, quick question. When do we get to tell the judges about what our choices were? Because Guild already thinks, we've already talked about my poor Imperial list-making skills, and this has probably reinforced that to a new level. I'm going to defend myself to him on that. He's already critiqued me on my ability to design Imperial.
No, once this all is over, you'll be able to chat with him and let him know all the problems that you faced to get here.
I'm going to send him a message right now telling him that you shouldn't believe anything that Cameron said.
You should not be privately communicating with the judges.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I mean, after
Hey.
this, I guess you're
Disqualification there. Disqualification.
Tell you what, for a 20-point bid, you can communicate with the judges privately all you want.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me think about this.
Oh God.
372.
Looking at the list. Barnick's looking at it too. Oh God.
Do we have a verdict, Geek?
No, I'm just hopping back. They're still talking, and I can't contribute anything because anything I say, oh, so and so did this or that, it's just like that sways the talking. So I can just
wait. How are they still talking?
They're legit like going over the pros and cons of each of your lists. So it's
we
it's
chose
not
good
like guns to the
judges.
wall. They're trying. It's
I'm happy they're trying, but can they just shoot me already?
let me go see her.
Blow it up.
Did we get a first and second place and third place for the lists last round?
Oh, we did not. We just got you're in or you're out.
I would like to know who was first with them. I'm curious.
Perhaps that's something that we can discuss at the end.
I am too.
Yeah. So, is this going to be like a YouTube video at the end, or?
Yeah, it's going up to Twitch right now, and then I'll upload it to YouTube afterwards, in all of its terribly edited glory, including this conversation right now.
All right. Oh boy,
terribly
yeah. If you
edited.
share a link, I'm gonna send that to him with the my reaction when you were telling me, "Hey, you get a quasar."
You can upload your own YouTube video. Severus Snape reacts.
I would have infinite beeping going on with like a thing covering my mouth, and it's just like, oh, he's just cursing me out, and I'm just sitting there quiet. Just like, yeah, I had a fun time today. It was a great build, real good competition. I'm not gonna say that Rasp really didn't like me, but I feel like he has a grudge going on for something I did. I don't know what.
I'd like to thank all my other competitors for really helping my creativity.
Oh yeah. They inspired me to go as out of the box as possible.
I will say that you have probably. I would doubt that you had ever considered boarding troopers on a quasar before.
I don't think any human being ever did.
I did.
That is incorrect. I have in fact built 3 quasar
Oh my lord.
lists
Was it
with
Quasar
BT and all
Pirate
of.
2s though? There's the keyword. Quasar Pirate
Uh,
2.
well, I have built lists with 3 Quasar Fire 2s, but that was a Ruthless Strategist spam list and not
Yeah, yeah.
Boarding Troopers.
No, that's the key.
Although,
Is
Porque no los dos.
oh boy.
Well, this has certainly been entertaining.
Yeah.
Hopefully for all the people that are watching this as well.
Yeah, no, it's been fun. It's getting me into the mindset that I've got a Rebellion in the Rim campaign, big battle later today.
Oh,
So
excellent.
it's good to get into the Armada mindset for that. Gotta stop the Imperials in their tracks and force them back to where they came from.
Well, hopefully we'll have. Oh, go ahead.
All right. Well, I was going to say, you have some examples of what not to do with an Imperial list.
We have a consensus.
We have a consensus. Let's move the judges over.
I'm sure we do.
All right, judges, we have a consensus. What is the verdict?
Are we talking about what we liked first? Each list?
Yeah, let them down easy.
I'd say I don't want to be a jerk, but we're gonna have some time to fill while they're building. So
Okay, we could save on that.
yes.
Yeah, you're right, Geek. You're absolutely right. Just lay it out there.
All right, I can still be the mean teacher here. So I'm used to it. We had a lot of conversation about the 3 lists, and there were some very curious decisions that you all made in your list building decisions. However, the thing that stood out most to us was the objective choices that were made for these lists and how fitting they were to the capacities of the lists. And because of that, we decided that Louis' objective choices, being the kind of straight up standard competitive 3, was the weakest.
So Louis is eliminated. Is what you're saying?
Yes.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Well-
I'm out. All right.
Well, thank you, Louis, for playing. I really appreciate all the creativity that you've brought so far. I'm sorry that you've got to go.
Okay, that's fine.
I love Constantine. I love Raiders and Interdictors.
Yeah, you were killing Ted. Like,
Oh man, it hurt.
Can I get a quick question?
Sure.
How is
That's
Mr.
questions
Quasar?
later. Right now,
Okay.
I believe you have to. We have round 3 to get going because it's
Oh, dear.
2:45.
Yes, we've got to. Thank you, Geek, for keeping us on track. I'm sorry, Louis. I've got to punch you out. We'll chat with you in the casters booth in a little bit here. We'll kick you there. We'll kick everybody else over to the judges booth here. Bonk, bonk, bonk. And that just leaves you two for the final round. And for round 3, it's actually pretty simple. It's just no judge elimination anymore. You're going to build a fleet with the remaining points that you have left, and then play a round of Armada on Vassal to determine who the champion is. That's all simple and easy, right?
About 390 points.
Yeah, they're both 392. Okay, well,
Okay.
I mean, it's more thematic to have Imperial versus Rebel, right? So, we're going to start the bidding at 2 points for being able to choose who the Imperial and who the Rebel is.
2 points. I'm in.
All right, now we've got 2 points for Snape. Do we have 3 points?
That puts me down to 389.
It would.
3 points going once.
No, he can have it.
Okay, that was
So I'm down to 390.
390 for you, and I imagine that you'd rather be the Rebel.
Yeah. I've been disenfranchised with my Imperial buildings for.
And is that get started, Biggs, or do we want to?
Yeah, we can have people get started on their fleet building here, and we'll go chat with Louis really quick.
So are there anything at all happening for this one, or is it
Right
actually
now,
just
it's Imperial versus Rebel. So,
Yeah, there may be some more stuff coming. There may be some more stuff coming.
That's what I was afraid of. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna give you folks until we'll make it a nice round number. We'll say 3:20 my time to finish your list.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Hey there, Louis. Thank you for hanging around.
Biggs, do you want to pull the judges in here so that way we're all in one spot? Because
Oh, okay. Well, let's chuck everybody over into the judges booth.
ooh, we've gone from the caster's booth to the judge's booth.
Mm-hmm.
Say,
Hey, folks. We're gonna bring
So
everybody.
we appreciate you guys judging so far.
Mhm.
But, right now, it's just watching and.
We're bringing Louis in here, and we'll chat a little bit about his lists. And honestly, I thought that they were very strong. And we'll let you guys take it over.
Sure.
I'm not sure which objective you should have put at my place, in fact.
Oh no, it wasn't that they weren't good objectives or they weren't like the right choice for the fleet. It's that they weren't like they're standard objectives. It's like almost any list I build will start there, and then like, do I need to go somewhere else with it?
Yeah.
So, like, for
And that
example, if like I'm picking semi-randomly, like I'm trying to pick objectives I think about, but like surprise attack could have gone in. Looking at yellow, asteroid tactics. Is
dangerous
good.
territory is actually a very strong objective if you have a bunch of raiders because they can just run around grabbing them.
And they don't have to worry about hitting them.
Correct.
Dangerous territory, asteroid tactics is good for the same reason, where it's just like, oh, I don't have to take a hull damage on my 4 hull cruise missiles.
But understand, Louis, like this was a really tough decision for us. Like we were, it was basically a coin flip at the end.
Yeah, we had to tell Geek to come back later like 3 times because we were still in discussion.
That's true. It was a good opportunity for me to look through the objective and bring something funny or different than the usual. So I didn't do that, and I do agree. You did a good job by by picking me.
It was literally like we had that about your list, and we had some comments and critiques about I will not say who the other list was, but we were literally sitting here and it's like, well, is this worth more than this? Is this worth more than that? And we were just like, how?
Yeah.
How do we quantitative a 1,000% qualitative judgment?
No.
I want to say the story I didn't tell you guys that I really liked is when you guys were judging, I definitely heard you say, well, Louis got stuck with Constantine, so like this is the best he could do with this. And what I really appreciated was Louis, who won the bid for the commanders?
It's me.
He chose Constantine.
Okay, so that is hilarious because we knew what the sabotages we were told the sabotages right before this. So it was like, okay, out of Screed, Constantine, and Palpatine, if you're trying to build an Imperial MSU, why in the name of Christ Almighty take Constantine? So we saw Constantine and we're just like, okay, so you were given Constantine. It's like, okay, let me go grab an interdictor. That's the choice. Like, it's not even like, can you be creative? No, go get an interdictor. And it was just, what?
Well, I was
really funny.
At the beginning. I was thinking perhaps arriving with a volley of Quasar, the cheap one, to run with the Constantine. But after all, I just realized, oh man, that's that's just shit. So so yeah,
None of us are going to disagree with you.
Yeah, but
Like, and that was something else we discussed in the judges booth while y'all were building is like, had any of us ever seen a Quasar bomber build, and when I say bomber, I don't mean TIE bombers. I mean the Quasar is the bomb build work. And the only one that I know of is the one that's making Geek laugh right now. Is one that was designed for Sector Fleet, and the bomb was aimed at a Super Star Destroyer, which proceeded to go splat.
I've seen it work. I've seen Jack get the double boarding troopers Quasar off on a super, and it is hilarious.
All right. Well,
you don't have any defense tokens.
we gotta hold on for 1 second because I've got another sabotage to give to these folks.
I don't know. Justin stepped away for coffee, so you may not have another sabotage yet.
That would be a problem.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Yeah.
Hold on. Hello, gentlemen. Are you both here?
Yep.
Rasp?
Well,
Might not be.
no. Yeah, maybe he isn't.
Okay. Well, there's a sabotage that I got to give out.
No.
Be a shame if he wasn't around to bid on it.
I'll bid 1 point.
I can come back.
Oh, but I want time to fix my fleet after it gets killed.
Well, I'll tell you what it is so that you know what you're going to be bidding on when I come back.
Oh,
Would you like to be first or second player?
oh.
Think about that for a bit. All right. Well, since Snape was around, I told him what the sabotage was going to be, and we'll be back to bid on it in a little bit.
Okay.
It'll be
So
fun.
we're gonna click there, guys. Okay, have fun. Thanks a lot for everything.
All right. Thank you very much for coming on.
All right.
We'll be seeing you around.
Oh yeah. Bye.
I have to say, whenever episode 2 of this goes up, I might be interested in trying to build 1 or 2 of these, and it just trying instead of just being the color guy. Like,
By all means.
because
I've been sitting around playing in Armada Warlords in between rounds to see like what would I build for this.
because I can tell you my Imperial MSU would not have had ordnance experts at all, like no matter the commander, just because, I mean, I've run a lot of hammerheads, and the answer is Confire and a token, and you're going to get like 90% of the effort you got out of it on the way with ordnance experts, and
So I'm gonna interrupt with a question because we don't know this. Who won the bid for the upgrade slot, and what in God's name did they ban?
There was no upgrade slot. The 3
We-
were pick your commanders, pick the critical, who gets to use critical effects, which
Yeah, I changed that up a bit.
which is why everybody was using extracts except for Cameron. And then the who gets to drive the Quasar bus, which
Also, wait. So who won that one?
Justin won that one and gave it to Cameron.
Figured you get crit effects. Have this too.
yeah. That was, Cameron was joking that when he heard that was announced, he just started rebuilding and assumed he was getting it. Which he wasn't wrong.
No.
Yep.
Let's see. So we should touch base on the other list real quick, as far as that. What we were thinking.
Yeah, go ahead while we're still waiting, and I'm trying to get. Hopefully, Justin's back soon.
Yeah.
As soon as
GP, do you want to talk about what your thoughts on the list were?
Hold on, Justin's back, so let's do this real
Okay.
quick, and we'll hop into that.
Hey guys, we got another sabotage that nobody knows about in advance.
You're telling all of y'all about sabotage?
Yeah, it's a sabotage. So it seems rather unfair that with you guys having reduced your points already, that someone just gets to be lower point total and thus gets to choose player 1 or player 2. So we're just gonna actually bid for player 1 and player 2 right here. So I figure. What's a usual bid to guarantee a choice?
3 is a good solid point place because that's what Nathan Coda always advised me to have.
Well, I actually saw statistics that said 5 was what you needed to more or less guarantee a choice against all but the very weirdest lists. So let's split the difference. We'll say 4 points. 4 points, and you get to choose first or second player.
You have initiative. Is the fancy
Yeah, you have initiative. 4 points. How about it?
I heard noises out of camera. That counts as
I mean, this is you don't have to do anything else. You know, I'm gonna be first player or second player.
Fine.
Okay,
4.
so that's 4 points. Are we gonna get to 5?
No, it's his.
all right.
All right, 4 points. Would you like to be first or second player?
Right now.
Right now.
Be for-
All right.
What do you choose first?
Snape chooses first player.
Okay.
So what's my fleet max now?
14 points down, so 386.
All right, I am still good.
Mm-hmm.
I had to. Does this have to be crazy and unique, or is this just we're trying to win?
You're just playing each other. You don't have to impress the judges anymore. You just got to win.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Alright.
this has to be crazy unique.
All right. Nope, screw it. D-Wing Swarm, let's go. Or maybe we'll see.
A double Pelta B-Wing Swarm? Nothing
Oh,
could be that.
hang
nothing
on.
Could be that mad.
Hang on, we've got one final sabotage.
Do you want to do that now? Or do you
Yeah,
wanna
we're
do
gonna
that-
do that now. They got 20 minutes left to play, and this they might need that. They might need those 20 minutes to
Play in the
decide.
sandbox, if you will. Yes.
Okay, so our final sabotage. Adding objectives to fleets is hard. We should just choose the objective right now. Win this, and you get to choose the objective.
I'm a little confused.
What are you confused by?
It's the objective. The objective.
Yeah. So
The one that you will be playing.
yeah. So Justin, with you as second, let's say a 3-point starting bid. You would choose as second player. This is the objective we're playing, no matter what. So you have a bunch of VCXs or lambdas in Moralo. You say we're playing SensorNet, and then Cameron has to deal with that. Conversely, Cameron, if you want to bid 3-4 points or whatever, and you say we're playing targeting beacons, and hope Justin doesn't have those same what have you.
I'll bid 1 point.
All right.
I'll give you 2.
Okay, we've got 2 points.
All right.
Do I hear 3?
What's my max right now? 386.
Yes, sir.
He's gonna outbid me no matter what. So maybe he might already have a list together.
We're going once at 2 points.
I will go to 3.
3 points. Do I hear 4?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really tough one. Because he's already got first player.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
I feel Justin's setting us up for a no, Cameron, don't throw me into no briar patch.
Going once.
I'll go to 4.
We're at 4. Do I hear 5?
All right.
Do you want to go even higher than 5 to prove Justin how much of a man you are?
Nope, not really.
4 points going once.
He can have it. I'm not.
He can have it. So, what objective are we going to play? For
I regret.
4 points.
That. Decide right now.
Right now, what's the objective? Any objective.
Give me 1 minute.
Uh-oh. Can it be added then for design? No, I'm mostly joking.
All right, we'll give him 1 minute to decide.
So Cameron, you're at 386, and Justin's at 380 total builds.
Yep.
Oh man, I can think of so many great objectives Justin might pick. Marked for destruction. What's another one? Jamming barrier.
The only bright side is it gives me some idea of what he's building. I get to be a wild, which is, I guess, what I've been the whole time. Wasn't expected to be here. Alright.
What objective are we choosing? Time is running out.
I think I'm going to be a little bit cheap.
Ooh.
And I think that I am just going to go with surprise attack.
Oh.
Okay.
There are better objectives out there, but there are a lot worse.
So we will have surprise attack in 16 minutes. 16 minutes. Ooh-wee. Let's...
We'll let you guys build, and we're gonna hop back to the judges' booth, and
Because the judges aren't judging, so we can talk to them about what's going on here.
All right. So, good luck. We'll check in a minute, or 2, or 10.
Goodbye, carrier fleet.
They are playing surprise attack.
Okay,
Cameron
sorry,
is first.
I'm back.
Cameron is first. Justin surprise attack. Justin has a 388 point total, and Cameron has a 386. It's just based on everything they've been bidding so far.
Who's Rebel? Who's Imperial?
Cameron's Rebel, because much like me, he's a Rebel usual. So.
Okay, I didn't know who won that. Because if Raspin won and he had known that, it's like, well, maybe I make him Imperial just to... Because I don't care. Rasp doesn't care. He flies both with equal gusto.
I'm really surprised that that the bid for which objective to play wasn't worth a lot more points.
Yeah, it was only 4.
I'm surprised that they both have that many points left.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've been bidding. They haven't bid much.
No.
Justin's first bid was the giving Cameron the Quasar. So.
I was kind of expecting this to go, like people to be in the 370s or so. But hey, they're doing well with low bids. You can't fault them for that.
It's the right way to play.
The right way to play is to build your list until you run out of things you want to buy, and then have a big bid.
So let's take a look at and see what everyone is building at this time. We'll take a look at Cameron's first.
Hang on, moving rooms. Oh, I'm already here. This is nifty. Oh, we're oh god, I know what this is.
Do you?
Yes, I do. It's a tweaked version of what he ran in the 24-hour tournament.
That it is.
Which I know because I played him and I recommended he make most of the changes he appears to have made.
What did you? Because before on the 24-hour, he had 2 hammerheads. So I assume you said up 1 to Jaina's.
I said up 1 to Jaina's. I said that if he was gonna, that moving Shriv onto. Actually, no, he had Shriv there already. What was on the other one?
Cam?
Oh, it was Garel's honor, which he dropped because Garel spent the entire time nestled in the side arc of a super, and the super just kind of giggled and blew it to hell. Yep, that's the same Starhawk. I don't remember if Wallach was there.
Yeah, I mean it's a hawk. It's a solid hawk.
Do you think he's going to make any changes to make it a little bit better with that surprise attack coming at him?
No,
I think it's what Leia's there Leia, and then
Cosmet.
double comms net and a Hondo. I don't think he needs it.
Yeah,
Oh,
that-
that was the other thing, is that the original version had 3 squads.
Yeah,
I
here,
pointed
Shaw.
out that yeah, it was Tycho, Shar, and Lando, and it's like, if it wasn't for how deployments actually work in the game,
Right.
you're fine, but that's not how they actually work.
So save,
So-
get some upgrades or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Comms
Toss
net.
one, save yourself some trouble.
And do we want to hop over to Justin's list, or
Sure.
Yeah, let's hop on over there.
I'm on the table, sort of. Nope. Let's try again.
There we go. He's
Lovely.
already got the objective out. Can I just say how much I hate that star field and how incredibly
rough.
cluttered it is?
It's, yeah, that's a lot.
And I'm hopping in and out of Vassal. It's being dumb for me. So.
Interesting.
We've got
It's just
Ramadi.
the only star field that is like an actual Hubble Space Telescope picture.
Probably. Looks that way.
Reality is
Wait,
often
Hubble?
disappointing.
Thanks, Big's nose.
Hubble's extraplanetary, though. It shouldn't have the stars winking like that.
So we've
Oh, dear.
we've got an inner tank here.
That's an expensive interdictor.
It
But
is
are
a
they still doing their building, even after seeing the objective?
Huh?
What's that?
Are they still doing their construction after seeing the?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
they still have
absolutely.
another 5 minutes, 10 minutes or so.
10 minutes to tweak their list, knowing what the objective is.
Interesting that they both have double comms nets, and then one has and they both have Hondo on one of them.
Friend to all.
Just a lot of tokens going to be flying around.
Oh, those arcs look really mean.
Whoa, there goes
Justin.
all of his fleet. Maybe he's saving it.
He might be saving something or deleting it and rebuilding, but Justin's had that for a little bit, and that's why I think he was hesitant to bid heavily on the objective and all that. But I mean, that's the surprise attack. I've played some Hawks, and they don't care for surprise attack. I mean, nobody does. But if anything can, deal with it, it's a Hawk with 2 comms nets, and sure, it's starting up halfway up the board. That's a pretty good choice.
Okay, I had to step away for a second. Dealing with dog that was getting washed. What happened to Justin's list?
I assume he saved it as the extension and everything like that. So
what was it?
interdictor, 2 Architens with skilled, Gozer with Vader, Hondo friend, Comsnet, and
here it
Corvus
is.
Extracts.
Corvus Extracts, boarding troopers.
I missed the boarding troopers. Sorry.
Yep. Also, both Architens had RBDs and LTTs.
There are now proximity mines. Admiral Titus.
I mean,
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm glad that's not my
Woo-wee.
Justin, you're a monster, and I love you.
Oh, Justin and I were actually talking about a build like this the other day.
How many? Good God!
1, 2, 3. I'm seeing 3 mines he's gonna drop right on the.
It could have been
That does not
5, Justin. It could have been 5.
Counterpoint decaps. Oh, and he's got Ramadi. Oh my.
Ramadi and ion cannon batteries because
Why not?
let's play some CeeLo Green. Let's Biggs, you want to hop over to the them, let them know they're running out of time.
You got it.
Okay.
Oh my god, this is gonna be a bloodbath.
Just a friendly reminder that you folks have about 8 minutes or so left to play, building your lists.
All right.
I mean, if you guys are both done, I don't know if you need the 8 or not. Like, I don't know what everybody's up to.
Yeah, we can just jump right into it if you're both ready to go.
I have one more thing I need to.
I still want to get some breakfast, so I think I'm gonna call it with the list and actually go do things that I need to do for the morning.
Okay.
Next time I need to ask, what do you need me for? Not, yeah, sure, what do you need? I did have plans for today.
You did. It's good to want things.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
I'm just gonna casually play some video games, relax for the day, and then play a Rebellion in the Rim game later. Still gonna do the Rebellion in the Rim, but now I'm just gonna do this up till then. So I'm gonna go grab food. I will talk to you fine people later.
You have no one to blame but yourself for doing well.
Hey, no, I'm gonna blame the judges. Last time I should have been knocked out of this. That list it was heresy, as I named it. Anyone who disagrees with that, I will dispute the heresy of it.
All right, let's go back to the judges, I guess.
Sure.
All right, we're waiting for those 6 minutes so that our friend who is done building his list can go and grab some breakfast.
Okay, so I am as much a fan of brunch as the next right-thinking person. Even his time, isn't it like 2 in the afternoon?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like you think you have a point, but I'm not sure what it is.
I am all in favor of breakfast food at any time of day. It just stops being breakfast sometime between 10 and noon. It turns into brunch or breakfast for other meal. So if he hasn't eaten all day, that sure is a decision you can make.
I haven't eaten all day, so thanks.
Oh, I don't. That is not a thing I can do.
I don't love food anymore. That might be jokes that I don't think Matt gets. Matt?
I'm 36.
24.
Yeah, you're too. That's in Matt. Matt, I know you're too young for Homestar Runner, but
No, yeah, I was
Fucking
there for,
Homestar Runner.
I was there for home.
Yep. So and so, what's her face? The ugly one, cheerleader.
It's like not the deep magic to me.
Okay, ass lad.
I mean, that's. I make those references more than I'd expect, considering how long that's been off the air. But like,
Right.
you know, the cheat. We did not install light switches for you to have light switch rays with.
That's.
You see, Matt, the internet used to be
The
this
system
harsh
is
and
down. The system is down.
Oh no.
Come for the judgment of others list. Stay for the Homestar Runner jokes. That's why you're all.
This
right?
isn't too cruel for station assault, is it?
Oh man,
Totally.
I
Okay.
kind of want to make it and play that list now too.
Justin's.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out if I would edit it. I don't know what I would edit.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
it.
it's getting pretty tight on points.
I mean, he only had, what, 386 to work with?
Justin had 388.
I mean, the only thing I'm looking at adding is... Come back, stupid
More
program.
minds.
I would, but I can't. The only thing I would actually add is this is one of the few cases I think Lesser Vader is worth the damn.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, very much.
I
Put him on the not tightest.
Yeah, because he has two SFOs on the Arc-10s. Or an
Unless he
SFO on each
plans to actually
Arc-10s.
use them.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
if this was a 400-point list, I would consider putting IO or what's the other one? Or ESTs on the arcs.
I would have ESTs on the Arcs, yeah. EST, LTT, Arc is, so good.
This is. I mean, those arcs are going right for that hawk real fast.
Catch it while
Many
it
red
still
dice
can't
will be
go
thrown
anything
this
faster
day.
than speed 0.
Oh shit!
Hmm.
I only just put together. It's like, wait a second. Tightest and surprise attack means the hawk can start at 0,
Yeah.
or can be forced to. And then, oh look, here's the raid on the nav commands.
Justin says he's going to join Cameron's room while he makes breakfast and load his
Okay.
fleet. So
Okay.
To Cameron's room.
Yes.
Play on a better Starfield.
Yeah. That. A Starfield you can look at for more than 10 seconds without having to look away.
Yay.
So nice now to have my eyes.
Oh, that's really nice.
Unlike the violence that is about to occur.
Violence.
Because they're going to need to bring their obstacles back.
Oof. Hawk is gonna have fun.
Interesting idea of fun.
It'll be okay. I mean, he can get I mean, if he sees it coming, he can get 2 comms nets over to the Hawk. Well, 1 comms net. I guess that's all he gets. We get the comms net over to clear the raid, and then nab out of 0. But he can't do it before his second activation, so.
Yeah, I don't think Cameron's gonna be dumb enough to put the Hawk far enough forward the arc, so you're gonna shoot it immediately.
At least not with
I mean, it's not going anywhere fast.
No,
Even
I
if
mean,
Justin puts
it
the
never
station
would.
all the way on this side. There's that. Even if Justin puts the station all the way on his side, Cameron's just like, okay, the Hawk's going up on the back side of it.
Well, but you gotta be careful because then if you miss on that, as it were. If you miss on that and like I haven't like looked at this in a while. Like, I don't know what the range would be, but if you miss and it's obstructed, then he's got Ramadi and you're giving him extra dice.
Oh yeah.
All right, that's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 time. You guys can go ahead and get into the same room.
Yes,
Alright,
I'm creating a room, and I'm going to import both the fleets real quick.
Yeah,
Go grab something to chew on.
All right.
yeah, I haven't had food still, so that's on my list. I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
Cool.
Alright. See you on a few.
Plus, nobody really wanted to play on my Starfield map.
No, we
I did
didn't.
that on purpose just to mess with you guys.
What's up? Sorry.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'm just making a joke.
he had a really, really ugly map to play on. The one that's
Okay.
like real life stars, and oh dear God, it's so
Is
cluttered
it the
and
cook-off
painful.
champagne thingy?
Yep.
I'll get in there now. Alright.
I have to say, I feel kind of bad for this one.
As well, you should. I'll leave you, and we're gonna judge you from the judges' booth while you play. Good luck. Fly fast, win big.
Biggs is back!
I'm back, and they've created a new place for you to join.
Ooh.
Tell them to get their act together.
They're
Cook off
working on it.
champion. Who is coming up with these puns? I know who's coming up with them.
It's Justin. Of course, it's Justin.
Like, this isn't a question.
Turbo puns.
I mean, his room was named.
Speaking of old internet.
That was the best one. I love that one. What was it called?
Power thirst.
Power Thirst. That's what it was.
Made with lightning. Real lightning.
Rondo.
You're gonna have so many kids.
400 babies, and then Faith just. Yeah, that's how many I want.
Oh.
This is a family program, sir.
And that's exactly what he's discussing.
You burnt. You appear to have slowed the table down too much. Let me join. Let me in.
Yeah, I'm not able to get in yet.
Yeah.
Not showing me if Justin got around. There it goes.
Oh, it's even better. There it is. Cook-off champignon. It's not even. Oh, that's yes. Justin wanted to present the. Make sure we notice the table name of Cook-off champignon. All right.
Nice.
Tell them that we around here we speak American, not bad French.
Hey, I only know how to speak bad French. It's been literally half my life since I spoke French normally. I took French in high school. It has served me so well with all the French. Oh, because it's a bake-off, right? It's hilarious. Yes, Justin, doing good.
So the only language I can speak badly at this point, other than English, is Russian.
So what you're saying is you only know English and bad English?
I wish I knew how to edit this down to a more watchable format.
All right, surprise attack. Let's get ready to stumble.
Somebody remind Justin to put out a stack of command dials for the surprise attack tokens.
Nope.
And then we will mock him mercilessly if he plays this slowly.
Oof.
Don't worry, I can help with that. Bink.
It's big. Don't worry, they'll play fast.
We will make them play fast.
I don't think there's going to be much that isn't fast with
I was gonna say, how many squadrons we got on the board? A whole 2?
That helps.
Yeah, that does help.
And then 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 11 ships.
At least there's no squadrons. Well, 2 squadrons, but really no squadrons.
Guys, not to bring down the chat too much, but I do have to report that apparently Fred Willard passed this morning. So,
Oh.
he was in Spinal Tap, Best in Show, Mighty Win. He's that guy. He's like Chevy Chase without the racism and the hatred
Oof.
and the hateful racism.
That's unfortunate.
Yes. So watch a Christopher Guest movie tonight to honor him. Waiting for Kaufman. I'm very partial to Mighty Wind. Spinal Tap's a classic, of course, because again, it's a 2-hour game. We're just gonna watch them. It's just running our mouths. So.
Yeah, well, we've been. I think we're either gonna finish the Great tonight, or we're gonna start.
How is that?
Through. So, as discussed yesterday, the history is absolutely garbage. The characterizations are perfect, and it's hilarious.
Nice.
They're condensing 2 decades into a season and of undeterminable, like, real time.
I see the 3 dials. Yes. Oh,
So,
sorry.
like-
Let me talk out loud when Justin asked me a question online.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a good show. Ellie Fanning as Catherine is doing a good job playing off of Nicholas Hoult as Peter III. They're playing into Catherine's depiction of him as, at best, a boorish womanizer, significantly worse, versus her being usually the most intelligent and upright person in the room. But, in my opinion.
All right.
And everything goes.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm helping Justin.
Okay, so here's a $1 million question for us up here in the peanut gallery. How in the name of everything holy how are you setting up the obstacles, Justin? Because ships will fall into place kind of obvious if the obstacles are down, but like.
Oh, you mean the easy obstacles with the grav shift that he has? Because this is
never mind.
This is a nightmare.
A distance 3 radius circle.
Spoilers.
Oh, this is.
So, Cameron, I hope you've noticed that, because otherwise, if you don't, and you don't put a couple obstacles literally in the other corner of the board, they're all going to be in your face.
Now.
Yes.
And the mines. So
Yeah.
let me see if I've got this right. The Starhawk is going to be starting. Can it start? It's got to start speed 1, which really means
Yep.
Because Titus is in.
with mines and obstacles. So
It's starting at damaged enough. It's back down to being an ISD.
At least, or at best, yeah.
Well, I mean, all 3 mines goes off, assuming 1 damage each. It's down to an ISD. And that's before. Well, what if one of those is a crit and it's
Oh
it's
no.
gonna be a real short trip, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, projector misaligned. I had like 2 consecutive games where I had a Geralt's Honor ram my Kuat for a projector misaligned as the first attack it took the game.
Oh.
Rage inducing.
Wait, hang on.
No, don't put that. Don't put that there.
Put that
What are you
evil on me,
doing?
Ricky Bobby. What's up?
Justin or Cameron, why?
Oh no, that's yeah. It's
Wait.
station. It's second player places the station. Second player places the first obstacle.
Am I in the wrong group right now?
No,
Sorry.
you're fine. Hang on.
So the second.
Yes.
Oh, I am in the wrong channel. That's why.
Okay. Justin's not gonna get all 6.
Mm-hmm. Just many of them.
Because at the moment it's 4.
Oh God, that may be 5. Maybe not.
Hawk.
All right.
Somebody's about to go birding.
Now that I'm in the correct room and can watch the correct Vassal game.
That's important.
Oh.
In summary.
In summary.
There we go. We're sitting around.
Ooh, oof.
When you do this correctly, that is the obstacle with the greatest single access area.
Yep.
Or like, yeah, y'all know what I mean. Area, front, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm. The biggest footprint.
Yeah. And here comes the GSRs, like...
Blonk.
GSR reaches anything at 3 for a movement of 2, right?
Correct.
So can he get 5? No, he's saying, nope, I only need these 4.
Yeah.
And the station move happens...
Oh, it's all after.
It's after the Hawk comes down.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't yank the station across the board.
Here comes some mines. Oh boy.
Here comes
Oh,
some
that's
explodey
right,
boys.
Oh, it's gonna be right on that.
Isn't the only restriction right now like distance 1 from each other? Hang on, let me
Yeah.
look this up.
Yeah.
Like that.
I
mean, I'm only 3 mine list in my Ritter campaign right now, so
3 mines. Ugh, come on, casual.
something rookie numbers in this bracket.
Exact.
it's a Rebellion in the Rim list with.
Oh, Rebellion of the Rim. I'm sorry. Never mind. That's pretty solid for.
Wait,
For
what do you
writer.
have that's... You have like an
IS
assault... Oh, an
ISD 1 and a Raider.
Many explodey boys. Yep, distance 1 of each other, distance 5 of a ship. Not that matters as they go on the frickin' station. Excuse me, you're going to go boom.
No. It's he got one on each obstacle, so no matter where the Starhawk goes, I'm sure. Where did he put the grab token that I'm? Oh, it's right there on the. Yeah, good. They're all.
on the station.
Yep.
Right there.
Yep. That's gonna hurt.
This is gonna be awful.
Yeah.
I really shouldn't be laughing this hard. Oh my god, this is gonna be terrible.
It's fine. It's fine.
You're better off with the reactor leak.
I mean, do you really need hull or defense tokens or what have you?
I mean, I'm gonna go with yes.
You only need one hull to win the game.
One whole point.
Yeah, well, when you start down 6,
Then
It's
you
gonna
just
land on the station.
then you just
technically.
gotta play better.
get good, scrub. Right now, get good.
Makes sense.
Oh, because that's right. The Hawk, if Titus goes to 0, he can only go up to 1 because he.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because he's just gonna be raiding him for nav for 3 turns.
You're like, oh, here's the token to clear the nav. Wow.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
This is not a good plan.
That's not a good plan. That is not a good plan at all. You, sir, are gonna eat 6 all damage before anything else happens. Oh my god.
It's
I'm so glad
learning
I'm
experience. I think maybe when we have episode 2 of this, if we have episode 2 of this ever, maybe people
We
will
should.
learn the importance of what's the not bidding only 4 for the objective.
Yeah, there's a.
Oh. Well now, brave boy.
I mean, I know where I'm putting that.
Where would
All right, what's everyone's favorite funeral dirge?
I believe it's the meme song right now from the African dancers, right? That's.
Oh, that's absolutely what it is. My god. He's looking at them like he thinks he can run the gap. Oh, you poor child. You sweet, sweet summer child. That gap's not going to be there in 10 minutes.